Russ.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Link? Yeah. Do I need to get off this link or I can stay on this? Let me see. Let me go get some.
It's okay. We'll make it work. Good evening. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today's Wednesday, August 17th. We have an absolute jam-packed show. We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Our friend Russell Shepard is ready to come on the show. We're gonna give it a little bit. We're gonna give it about 10 minutes to get him resettled. Let us intro the show a little bit. He's rearing to go. We have Deontay Spencer coming in studio. If you don't know who Deontay Spencer is, former Westgate star, went to McNeese, played in the CFL, ended up playing. He's been playing in the NFL for how long, Jay?
Past 3 years.
Last 3 years. One of the best returners in the game, one of the best people I know. His story's pretty cool. He's gonna come in studio. He's gonna shoot the shit with us. So we're gonna have a really good show. Before we get going, before we intro Russell, got a lot to talk about. I don't know if y'all watched Hard Knocks. I watched Hard Knocks. Our boy Kelvin Shepard. He's getting a lot of airtime.
Hey, he's coming into that coaching role like a G, right?
Hey, he looks good. He fires me up, man. He gets fired up. He's pumping the linebackers up. He's pumping the defense up.
Coaching
a lot of
them
shit
up.
talking. It's intense, dude. That Detroit's got a little bit of they got a little momentum going in the coaching ranks, right? LSU football had another scrimmage. We heard that it was good because we couldn't physically be there. We were in the no-fly zone, and the practice. You got a little slap on the wrist. I don't know why this.
Timeout.
What are you doing over there, Coach?
I'm trying to make it so it doesn't fall on me. Yeah, we weren't there. We heard it was good. Quarterbacks, stats of the quarterbacks are good. All the reports of the quarterbacks were good. Nussmeier was 8 of 10. Jaden Davis was 7 of 9. I think both these guys are starting to feel comfortable. I think both these guys are starting to find their rhythm and get in their zone. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, the D-Day is pretty close.
It's close. It's getting here.
What was that?
Oh, no.
Are you panicking right now?
No, we're good.
What is happening over there?
The computer just kind of crapped out on me there for a second. No big deal. We just roll with the punches over
Well,
here, bro.
we are
A debacle.
I don't know what's going on with our technology. It's okay. We're working on it. We're getting through it. Listen to me. We talked about joint football practices. We talked about the Saints and the Panthers. I mean, the Saints and the Packers having a joint practice. How they always seem to get intense. There's always a scuffle. There's always something that happens. And I was talking about possibly the Saints getting into a few of them because of Trevor Penning and CJ on opposite sides, and they like to push the boundaries a little bit. I don't think I expected the Patriots and the Panthers, 2 fights in 2 days, caused by the same guy, ejected twice in 2 days. I don't think this guy's going to make the team.
Yeah,
I think this guy's gone. Last name Robinson, cornerback. I think he's gone. Christian McCaffrey got hit late. They had a little bit of a scuffle.
Said he stood over him.
Poor bystander, a female bystander in the crowd.
Oh, she took one?
She got a swollen foot.
Oh.
So she
got
said
stepped on.
she
Swollen
toughed it out though. She refused treatment
Oh.
from the Patriots training staff. I don't need it. I'm good. I'm gonna tough this thing out.
I mean, give me some tour dog.
Yeah,
Let me get
She-
me back
I
in the
think
game.
I think they offered her some free tickets to
They
the
were just
game
gonna
for
give
the
her ibuprofen,
season.
let's be honest.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Is he back in there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Wait, so any real takeaways from Hard Knocks? What did you obviously?
The real takeaway from Hard Knocks.
I think it was
is
Kelvin
this.
Shepard.
The real takeaway from Hard Knocks is this: Shep is starting in that role as the linebackers coach. 2, man, it's really hard to change the mindset of a building, but they're doing a damn good job of trying to make it happen over there. I like the coaches, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like what they're doing. I like the accountability they have. I like how truthful and honest and direct and straight up they are with those players, and I like what they're doing in that building.
I do too. I think my takeaway is the coaching staff, since they are so they're all players, right? They're not allowing the superstars on the team to get complacent, right? Like DeAndre Swift obviously is a starting running back. DeAndre Swift's supposed to be one of the better running backs in the NFL, and he's proved himself year after the last 3 years. He's gotten better and better and better. Well, Deuce Staley's not allowing him to get complacent and think that he is the best, right? Like he is constantly coaching him up, constantly trying to make him better. And you kind of see the same thing with Shepard. You see the same thing with Aaron Glenn. You see the same. Like I just think that they're taking over the mindset, the mentality of Dan Campbell, and they're not allowing the guys to get complacent. There's always a ton of injury. Now listen, this is Hard Knocks, so you're seeing all the good stuff. You're seeing a lot of things that are happening that are positive, and they do a really good job of framing all of the good things.
Unless you're David Blount, whatever the quarterback's name is.
That was tough. He dropped it. It was a.
He was beating himself.
I understand. Rightfully so.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
he
he's
lost
probably
the
going to
game.
get cut.
I mean, he's gonna be on the practice squad.
I mean, I'm sure that's what he wanted.
But
and also, this may be, I'll save it, but he's on the my fault, not my fault. Got an interesting guy.
I figured you weren't gonna like that.
Not at all.
I know.
But we'll save it. But I do think that what you said, obviously, I think this is a very player-driven room. Obviously, you have all former players. You can see that. But there is a chance for this to be an absolute fucking disaster. If the message doesn't ring true, they don't continue to buy in. I'm with you. I can see it. When people fall down, they're picking them up. The entire team is bought in right now. But these are adults making a living through football. And if you're little assholes and elbows speech, if we're 0-4, it's real easy for you to stop buying in on that stuff. So that's the only thing that concerns me, because it's a lot of Ed Orgeron, getting this what that feels
but it's not the Ed Orgeron ended up being. Now it didn't start of this. It ended up being the speech without the detail and the work behind it.
Yes.
That's the difference in it.
Yes.
I get the vibe that these guys, what you're seeing right here, is pretty much what you get every day. And so I feel like you're gonna see a Lions team that's in it. Now
they're not good though.
I feel like you'll see a Lions team that's in it, and what you're going to see is if at the end of it, can they, get across the line? I mean, you saw it in the one preseason game they had. They had the game won. All things happen, we drop a snap.
A snap on
stuff like that can't happen. And then we drop a snap, we let them go down, and we throw a jump
On
ball,
a
50-50 ball.
Yep.
That's how they lose. It's little stuff like that where you lose by 6 points in the game, and you're like, oh, we were in it, and they were.
And that's the margins of the NFL.
No. But my point
That's
is
the margins of the NFL.
That's how they could run into an 0-4. I don't think it's going to be hey, this team literally does not belong on the field with another team. I don't think it's the NFL. The talent level is going to be that big.
They are going to be a team that people don't like to play.
Yeah.
Because they're going to play hard. They are going to be very pesky, and they're going to aggravate some of the good teams. And honestly, they're going to sneak up on some teams, and they're going to make the life harder for teams that are supposed to beat them. And maybe they come out with some upset wins.
I can see him being pesky all year, and then ruining somebody's playoff hopes at the end of the year when they got guys playing for a job and playing for next year.
No doubt. Also,
but you saw the way I know this we're reading a lot into the preseason, but just because it's captivating television. Probably one of the best Hard Knocks in the last couple of years in my mind. Like just the access, what they've been able to do. The coaches are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can tell they have like. I've been in this league, like that kind of vibe to them. Like you have to do this, this, and this because that's how I was successful. Like the Deuce Staley and the John Emery and the DeAndre Swift, like back and forth is what DeAndre Swift needs to hear.
And
he has to look at it and be like, that's Deuce Staley. Like he's been in the league for 10 years.
Right, and DeAndre Swift takes it well. Like you can tell, like he understands.
He
like
saw it.
Yeah, he's not getting offended by it. Like he's not getting defensive about the stuff. He's not saying, well, I don't need to do it. No, he understands it.
I'll say this. It's weird to find this. This is a very rare blend of coaches, but it's funny to see it because you got a whole bunch of guys who are not necessarily the political buttoned-up coach, but yet they all work their asses off, and they all push and push and push, and it seems it's very hard to find that as like literally what seems to be
like the coaching staff
almost the entire staff.
Seems like the coaching staff's got a lot of chemistry together, which is always good.
Yeah.
Which is always good. So
I'll tell you this. I'll be honest with you. It's 2 episodes in. It's exceeded what I thought I was going to see.
Yeah, well, that's why, like, whenever I heard that they actively volunteered to be on Hard Knocks, like, Dan Campbell wants them to see all of this because that's another thing. Like, I want them to see that they're bought in and I'm doing, like, it's not like he's going to shed the stigma of, oh, I'm a football guy, like, I'm an idiot, whatever, because – I mean, that's kind of the persona that he has, a big, like, meathead, whatever. But you can tell by the way he talks that at least he fucking cares. Like, it's early Ed Orgeron, interim Ed. Like, where it's like, I will be up here at 4 a.m. and I'll leave at 4 a.m. Like, that's what he's kind of putting on for the Detroit Lions. But I do think they're not going to be very good.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think they'll be better than
they'll
be better than they were last year.
Yeah,
speaking
I think
of
they'll be better than
He's in.
Let's see what Caesar Sportsbook has for the old Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Let me get back to you here.
Let's get back to me. While you look at that,
hit up all the sponsors.
Oh, well, we're going to talk about the sponsors, but we have commercial breaks for the sponsors because when Shep gets back in here, we're going to take a little break so you have some sponsors to get him set up. But switching gears to a different team in the NFL, right? Our team that we all follow in Louisiana, New Orleans Saints. They came out and said Jameis is not likely to play this weekend. I think that was probably to be expected. I would assume that there's only 3 preseason games. I would assume he would maybe play one possession.
Maybe.
One series, the last game, maybe not. Just to kind of get out there and do whatever. And if he does, I wouldn't imagine him doing anything that puts himself in risk to get hurt. But I'm interested to watch the Saints play this weekend against the Packers. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I don't think Aaron Rodgers plays in the preseason. He's like, ayahuasca, and I'm good. I don't need to play. Just give me for the first game of the season. So, but it's going to be interesting. I want to see how they, I think most of the other starters are probably going to play outside Aaron Rodgers, but maybe not. I don't know.
They said they had 12 or 18 that didn't play last week. The Saints.
Yeah.
I would imagine a couple more of those are going to play at least.
For sure. Jameis is not going to play, I don't think. But, we get to watch the Red Rocket again. Yeah. Go out there, throw some dimes. I want to see the receivers continue to do what they do. I want to see the running backs do what they do. I want to see our defense continue to play well.
It does give me a good bit of confidence to know that if the Red Rocket can keep going out there and playing well and oiling the machine and moving the ball and they don't have all these guys in, well, if this is what we perceive to be our surefire backup, like it's not a quarterback competition, makes you feel good about what really could be on the field.
Right. Speaking of quarterback competition, we talked a little bit about it in the beginning of the show. Obviously the 2-man race now at LSU. We kind of understood it was a 2-man race from the beginning. Now Miles Brennan announced his retirement, which we talked a little bit about. We probably didn't give it enough attention on our Monday show. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, later on today. But LSU is in a 2-horse race of the quarterback competition. Russell Shepard, who is going to be on the show in a few minutes, he was in quarterback races, it seemed like, his entire career. Didn't seem like Les really knew how to utilize him, didn't really know what he wanted to do. And, in the day and age now, compared to where it was as far as the recruiting landscape goes, Russell Shepard then probably could have transferred. He's a number one recruit in the country, number 1 dual threat quarterback in the country. Comes to LSU, and from the day he stepped on campus was one of the most popular athletes on campus. He stuck it out, went through all the ups and downs, went through all the, hey, you're going to be quarterback, you're not going to be quarterback, we don't know what we're going to do. And, you know, you have to think that the age now, I can't talk.
Too much coffee.
The way the landscape of college football is now, where you can just transfer and go into the portal and move on. I'm not saying he would have, but he would have had the opportunity. But he made a 7-year career out of, you know, being in the NFL, being able to play. Now, if you play quarterback at LSU and, you know, didn't play another position, they didn't really get to see him, you know, learn the receiver position. Maybe he doesn't play 7 years. Maybe he plays longer. Who knows? But he stuck it out, and that's a product of, hey, I'm going to be committed to the guys that I came in with. I'm going to learn, and I'm going to put my head down and work my ass off, and good things happen. Now he's an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. He's in the poo game. He's in the porta potty game. He's very successful. One of the best guys I've ever met. Came out of Texas. Him and my cousin, believe it or not, came out the same year in Texas. Jacob Caron. Jacob was a 4-star quarterback coming out of Texas, around the same area, around the Houston area. He was out of Friendswood, so they kind of came up together. That's kind of how I knew so much about the Texas recruiting at that point. Now, obviously, I had just got out of being a recruiter for football, and I was already at LSU, and they were a year behind me. But I was following my cousin. Obviously, Shepard was coming to LSU, and, you know, they were kind of going neck and neck. But, you know, I'm excited to talk to him. Is he back in there?
He's back in, but we got to get him to turn his microphone on. It says it's turned off, so I can see him and he can hear us, but I got him to get his mic on.
Did you email him?
I sent him oh, there he is.
I hear you. I wanted to be quiet for you guys.
Hey, he's on. All right.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to take a 30-second break.
Bro, you make me nervous when you do that kind of stuff.
30-second break, and we're going to get him set up, and we'll be right back. You're watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive.
What a respectful man.
Hey, he's the best,
That's
dude.
the best. Oh, my God, I was freaking out.
He's respectful, unlike you, Lloyd.
What?
You're very
Why
disrespectful.
did I get that shot?
You're very disrespectful.
To whom? Oh, I did just disrespect my parents over there.
You
I'm
did.
getting texts on just get out my game, dude. Let me live my life.
Okay, cool. How you guys doing, man? No, man, I appreciate it. So thanks for having me. Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Yeah, what's going on, J-Dog? Congratulations. You just got married not too long ago, right? Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Today's show is brought to you by Dos Equis. Here in Louisiana, we like to have a great time. If you're looking to be the life of the tailgate, check out Dos Equis mini kegs. Hold 16
Cool, man.
beers,
Let's do it.
Tap, easy to pour, easy to chill. Check it out. Become a life of the party. You're welcome. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. I kind of did the introduction a little bit before, but it's okay. He's a man that deserves 2 introductions. Former #1 recruit in the entire country, LSU legend, 7-year NFL vet, now entrepreneur in the poo game.
Yes, sir.
Crushing it in the poo game. Our friend Russell Shepard. Russ, bro, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do appreciate this, man. I'm excited.
Man, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
How much attention have you been paying to LSU, to football, to the NFL, the landscape of, you know, how the NFL is going, the landscape of how college football is with recruiting? How much attention have you been paying to that?
Well, you know, I've been paying attention pretty close, especially, you know, with the new coaching, new coaching staff, obviously the quarterback competition. And, you know, obviously I've never seen a quarterback, lose the quarterback battle, pull himself out of school and still get to keep all his money. So this is a pretty unique thing.
Hey,
2022, baby.
That's it. That's where it's at. That's what I wanted to ask you. You've been a part of some quarterback battles, right? Now, obviously, you came in as the number one dual threat quarterback in the country. I don't think Les Miles really knew how he wanted to utilize you.
Broke his brain.
Yeah. You were before your time, I think. You know what I mean? You see all these quarterbacks now with Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson, all these guys, and I think that you were probably a little bit before your time. I think now in the day and age you would have, thrived. What goes into a quarterback competition? How do you keep your mind right? How do you say, all right, I'm going to keep my eye on and focus on what I want to get done, and I want to focus on me and not worry about what everybody else is doing?
Well, the thing about the quarterback battle is won in so many different ways. Obviously, one of the biggest things is you got to know the playbook. You got to know the playbook in and out. You got to know everybody's, position, everybody, adjustments, everything that goes into, every other position that, you control, being the lead man. Then the second part is, being able to kind of win a competition of who's going to lead the team, winning the locker room, winning the trust of the coaching staff, winning the trust of the young receivers, the older receivers, your left tackle. I mean, just across the board, even the defense, you got to show them that, if the game is in your hands, you're going to get them through. So, I kind of realized that quickly. When I got to the school, man, obviously I had a lot of noise coming behind me, being such a high, with all due respect towards my talent and everything I brought to the table. I realized quickly it was his team, and I just knew that I can best help the team, doing a little bit of everything.
How do you win the team over? I know you said and we've talked about that on the show a lot, is how important it is to win the locker room and to win the trust of all the guys, and that's in any sport, right? Baseball, basketball, football. If you want to be a leader on the team, you have to win that over. How do you do that? Like, are there things that you need to, be there every day and win in sprints? Do you have to, keep getting up after you're getting your ass beat? Like, how do you win over the guys in the locker room?
I think it's a little bit of everything you just kind of said. It's a collection of victories. You can't get a team of 98, 120 guys at some point throughout training camp and throughout the season to really believe in you, just really just through one act. It's possible to be perfect in the imperfect game. So they'll take the bumps and the bruises, but long as you're just consistent with who you are, man, guys will follow you.
You have the unique perspective of being able to come into a high-profile college program, being a high-profile recruit, playing well, being a difference maker on the team, and then going to NFL as an undrafted free agent, having to work your way through the special teams to earn your spot on the roster, and then carving out a role for you and playing 7 years in NFL, which is extremely hard to do because I think the lifespan of the average lifespan of an NFL athlete is 2.5, 3 years. And what's the difference between prepping for the college game and then prepping for the NFL game?
I think the biggest thing I learned, college is a lot of just passion, just pure want. In college, man, it's usually the toughest, the team who wants it the most. That's why I say energy, stadiums, student sections, just a bunch of guys that just hungry. That makes a huge difference at the collegiate level. Once you get to the NFL and kind of the talent level, levels, obviously, you paying guys, coaches a lot of money to make the game a lot more complex at times than it should be. Once you get to professional level, it's more of you're a problem solver. You're being strategic. It's game planning. It's learning how to be a pro. It becomes less about just being the most, loudest, crunkest, most energy to who's the most prepared. Yep. Who had the best week of preparation. Who has the right person in the right place. So I think the one is passion. One is straight. Just chess, and you kind of get your love and hate with both of them.
So, you talked about getting on campus at LSU and Jordan Jefferson basically having a stranglehold on the quarterback job here. When you realized that you can help the team in other facets of the game and you had to tap into those abilities that you had and you use that through your LSU career here. How did your LSU career and the things you had to find out about yourself here help you in the career that you ended up having in the league?
Man, that's a good question. So when I got to LSU, I came to LSU with a lot of hype. Obviously there was the hope that I can play the quarterback position and I can bring the excitement, and then I can kind of continue, what was kind of hot at that moment, that dual threat, athletic, skill, quarterback that can, be an extra guy have to be an extra guy accounted for on the field. And then kind of when it went from that, it kind of went to the Percy Harvin thing. Let's allow this guy to be the guy who touches the ball in, many different ways and, get him involved. And, just kind of never really, I just kind of never was able to get, my career going for different reasons, being that, we're going to establish the run. And I knew that going to the school. So, we're going to run the ball and we're going to block, and that's how we're going to beat people down. And then, like I said, our opportunities would come off of, establishing the run and getting open and, being consistent pass catcher. And I just think in my throughout my journey, learning how to adapt while going through, having to compete with a young Odell Beckham, a young Jarvis Landry, a seasoned Ruben Roundel, a seasoned Brandon LaFell who's won a national championship.
Damn, y'all are nasty at the receiver position, huh?
Dude, throw the ball.
Right. We had quality depth, man. Like I said, mixture, really throughout my career. And like I said, I went from a guy, I can stop and start with the best of them. I can change the direction. I was quick. I was tough. But, catching a football is a skill that people just don't get overnight. So, I had to kind of adapt, to, really developing my ball skills throughout my college, being an SEC player. And it took me some time. And I just think, when you got young, skilled guys like a Odell, a Jarvis Landry behind you, sometimes time is the best thing for you,
right.
So it helped me, be able to adapt, while overcoming, just compete, stay true to the grind, stay consistent, work. And then, like I said, throughout that, having the skill set, having the talent, when I got to the NFL, special teams, that was my lifesaver, man. They gave me an opportunity to really develop and create a career for myself in the NFL.
Look, these two guys aren't going to have the same amount of, I guess, fanhood that I had, because you're the reason that I was the first person in my high school to ever even buy a laptop, because I wanted to watch your commitment live in school, because I knew that's when it was going to happen. So I just wanted to say, from my perspective, you mentioned all the things that made you great, and I was just wondering, look, I'm not trying to get into the belly of the beast here of what happened at quarterback, but did you ever feel like you had actually had an ample opportunity to be able to play that position at LSU, or was it more of as soon as you got there, you see the room, and I don't have a chance to win this thing over?
Well, I kind of, when I got to me being the recruiter I knew every coaching staff was going to pretty much tell me whatever I wanted to hear just to get me there. And it was really only one coach that really just kind of was 100% real with me and told me pretty much he doesn't want me to play quarterback. And that was Nick Saban. He came to the school and he said, "Hey, Russell, I like you. I think you can be an All-American receiver." He said, "I think you can be a top 10 pick as a defensive back." He says, he said, "Allow me to, he said, I think you can go to Oregon and play quarterback and win a Heisman." I mean, this is his exact words. And a young Russell Shepard didn't take that lightly. So, like I said, but after I got to the NFL and I seen, the DBs were my length. They were long guys. They were guys that played the quarterback position like a Joe Hayden. They were guys that were aggressive. They were guys that can tackle. Like I said, my natural skill position was probably on the defensive side, once I kind of seen it, once I got to the NFL. But to backtrack, man, once I got to LSU, I seen Jordan Jefferson and I seen Jared Lee were kind of better than advertised. Both can spin the ball and both had pretty good grips on the locker room. So, it was kind of me. I went up to Coach Miles a few days before the Capital One Bowl. It was my freshman year. We were playing Penn State. And, I told Coach, man, I want to switch it up. I want to be, your Percy Harvin. I want to be a guy that touches the ball in multiple ways. And, I kind of, started the process of switching me. I think they were going to naturally gravitate towards it going into my sophomore year, knowing that I was just a year or two behind Jordan and Jefferson. But like I said, I kind of started that, and once I said it, they didn't look back.
Well, and that's a credit to you being that self-aware and understanding the moment, understanding how you are to say, you know what, I think I'm better suited for my career, one, and for the team to go out there and make a change and allow myself to be on the field more to help our team
Coach, I
win.
want to play.
Right. Like if I'm on the field, we're a better team, and that's a credit to you and how good of a person you are and how self-aware you are. But let's go back to the recruiting, right? Obviously, the recruiting game when you came out is a lot different than it is now. What are your thoughts on the portal and all? Like, obviously, the NIL is what it is. Like, obviously, people want to say, oh, you would have made money this, that. Like, it's hard to go back and think like hypotheticals, but talking about the current landscape in the portal and NIL, what are your thoughts on how recruiting is going? And do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you wish that there was a way they can change it and make it, kind of regulate it?
Well, I mean, obviously, it was in the ball is in the court of the athletes now.
Right.
I mean, the student athletes, what I'm saying? So, I favor that. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I'm a former student athlete, and but obviously, seeing guys, kind of when you create opportunity in new eras, new ways, new platforms, you kind of create new problems, and sometimes it takes time to see what those new problems they're going to occur from these new lawless things we got going on. So I think it's always good when you kind of meet it in the middle, and both sides are able to benefit from it. As much as the NCAA is for young athletes, kids, young adults, it's still a business, and in order for it to run, it has to make sense on their end. And I think that's just something that I've come to accept and realize, being an entrepreneur and just being an adult, but at the same time, with all these thousands of number sevens at LSU Stadium, and the number ones and the number this and number that, the number threes, I think these kids and these parents need to be compensated. So. Right. Let me get a check from that. But to answer your question, man, I think it's beautiful. I'm happy that these players are getting kind of what they deserve, and I just hope that as things occur from this, negative things, that we just kind of we don't snatch it from these guys. We just kind of meet them in the middle and figure out how we just kind of everybody eat off this plate.
Before I get into what you're doing now, and I know you're a successful businessman, because that. For me, I want to get into that because I think that's important. I think football has shaped you to be able to do that. I've followed you a lot more closely than a lot of people probably outside of Louisiana, because you were coming up. My cousin texted me before I got on the show, and he told me to tell you what's up. Jacob Karam, I know y'all came up together. Y'all recruited the same year. He's the best. I know. He said y'all went to dinner a few weeks ago. He told me to tell you what's up. And so I told him I would do that. He's good people over there, man. So Houston, they make some good people.
The best personal injury lawyer in the state of Texas.
There we go. He's gonna listen.
Free advertisement, Jacob. Free advertisement.
Listen, I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that and send it to him, and I hope he puts it on a commercial. Free advertisement. But you're a businessman now. You're an entrepreneur. You're doing a lot of really good things. Tell everybody what you're doing. I know a little bit about what you're doing, but I like to learn more about what are you doing, how'd you get started in it, and what made you want to get into the porta potty game.
Right. So, to backtrack, man, obviously, coming into the NFL, being an undrafted guy, a lot of my peers, the Eric Reeds, the Tyrann Matthews, soon to be Odells, everybody, they was coming in and they was signing, signing bonus, $500,000, 1 point this, 2 point this. And, I knew quickly once I got my first signing bonus check, I knew I was going to have to figure some other shit out. Excuse my French.
No, that's okay. We can do that. We can do that on here.
All right. So, I got a $7,500 check. And after taxes, it was $4,200. And, I just realized from that point on, that was the last of my guarantees, until really, I signed another deal, So, from day one, Man, I was just realizing I was just always trying to find out another stream of income. How can I do this? How can I make more money in the off season than I'm making from football? How can I, just kind of just protect myself and my family? So my first year I started a trucking company, and it was Shep Boys, dump trucking company. And we transported, right. My family got about 30 years of experience in, logistics, being, transporting raw goods, materials, sand, gravel, dirt, you name it, that's simple, that's raw, we transported. So I knew that was something that I could do. But after about 4 years of doing that, man, I knew, I had other opportunities. I knew I was coming into a contract year. Throughout my whole really career, my first 4 years, I was a special team guy. And I developed to have, one of the better, I developed to be one of the better special team guys in the NFL. So Vincent Jackson, rest in peace to the big homie. He tore his ACL my fourth year, which is my contract year, and it was his last year, his 12th year playing in the league. And really, it goes back to what I was telling you. Regardless what people think of you, just be consistent with who you are. Me being a special team guy, that means every week I was the scout team best receiver. You know what I'm saying? So, just day and day of being the Antonio Brown, the Julio Jones, just being the Odell Beckham, I was getting better. I was developing. I was making up for those years I didn't catch a lot of balls at LSU or in high school. And when that opportunity came, when Vincent Jackson hurt himself, my contract year, I had a career year, man. My talent was matching my tape. I was playing fast. I was looking confident. I had the prior kind of, history of being this highly recruited guy. So going into the off season, I knew I was going to make some good money. So I kind of grandfathered the trucking company to my mom and dad so they can kind of, provide for themselves, create opportunity for them. And, they kind of had that for the rest of my career. And I kind of went on this information binge, and Mike, I just kind of was just looking at different companies. I was like, when I start my next thing, it's going to be something. It's going to be big. It's going to be something that I like, something I can do, post football. And man, I went through a laundry list of startups, failed, and just, from a commercial real estate developer, to a commercial fund, tech companies. My last venture I did, I wanted to be start a sports agency. I went to the combine. I met with the NFL. They loved it. I was, a few weeks away from, start to take my test. And man, I just had to really, I was in Manhattan. And I was in Manhattan the night before trash with my wife. I was on IR with the Giants. It was my last year. And I was like, man, I'm my wife just wanted to get me out the house. She's like, let's get you out the house. Let's just focus. Let's just look at something else. And man, I got inspired by a sea of fucking trash. I was in Manhattan.
New York City, baby.
Yeah, man. I was in Manhattan. It was the night before trash, man. And we were leaving one of my favorite restaurants, Julon Club. And man, I never seen that much trash in my life. And I knew having the experience in logistics and hauling, I knew somebody was making a lot of money hauling that trash off. So what I did, man, I came to the city the next morning because I had to see the doctor, and all the trash was gone. And from that day forward, man, I kind of went on from what I would say December 2019. I started doing my research, and you fast forward in the middle of COVID, August 3rd, 2020, I got Shep Boys up and running, and fast forward all the way to now, 2022. We are the fastest growing waste startup in the state of Texas. We've been approached 3 times to be acquired. And we're rental providers of, portable toilets, hand wash stations, waste tanks, water tanks, luxury restroom trailers, as well as haulers of human waste. People shitting and pissing every day.
that fires me up, dude.
And that's never going to stop.
Never going to stop. That has to happen every single day. That has to happen. Dude, that is awesome. That's inspiring because that is something that I've obviously always aspired to be, no matter how long I played in baseball. Like, I knew that I wasn't going to end. Like, I've always had that type of mindset. So to hear it from you and to see it, because you never know when you're going to get inspired, how you're going to get inspired, and to be able to say, hey, I'm going to put my mind on something and fail on a few things before that and keep pushing and be able to do it, man, that fires me up. I'm happy for you. I'm pumped for you. And that's pretty awesome.
Shep, you talk about, dude, I think it was super powerful what you just talked about, how that signing bonus you got was the last guarantee, and you recognize that at a very, very, very early stage in your career. And to recognize that and then now start thinking about what can I do? How can I do it? Who were some guys you looked up to? Who were guys you sought out to talk to about advice and how to do things and where to go, and guys you talk to lead you in the right areas and the right mindset?
Right. So I had two really, kind of veteran mentors, early and really throughout my career. And the first one was Jason Avant. He was a 12-year NFL veteran. Played majority of his year with the Philadelphia Eagles. And, the first thing he told me, man, he said, Shep, you don't have as much money as you think. And that stuck with me because obviously we coming from, college beginnings, humble beginnings, being from urban areas, rural areas. It's just tough times. So, for that 4,500, that even though right now I'm laughing at it, but that was a big deal to me back in 2013, coming straight out of college. So, that stuck with me, and it just always reminded me to always put a little something away, to invest something, to save something, just to make it last. So that was really kind of one of the big pieces that he gave me, and it was just something simple. It was just I tell him all the time, it was that one phrase. And the other one was Vincent Jackson. Again, Vincent Jackson, obviously, a lot of people know he's passed away. But what a lot of people don't know is Vincent Jackson was a serial entrepreneur throughout his NFL, journey. I came with Vincent Jackson year 9 of his career when I first signed with Tampa back in 2013. And at that point, he had almost over 100 rental properties in the Tampa area, as well as he had several successful restaurants that are still operating to this day. And he was just, he was just a very savvy. He's what we call the pros pro. So, having him throughout my first 4 years of my career, he was big, just giving me advice, telling me things to stay away from, kind of giving me the backdrop on just how to, have a successful on the field career and still be able to balance off the field, business. So, those two guys, man, I give all the credit to.
Hey, you mentioned obviously you're in the portal game. I thought that you would have noticed it from when your time at LSU going down the Tiger Walk whenever there's nobody really, there's people pissing all over the place, whatever. It's not in the portal, John. Right. So LSU needs some more. So if you want to bring your business down this way, we're more than welcome, brother, because I'm a walking felon every game day.
No. On a serious note, man, like I said, we're growing fast, man. We've been approached by a lot of, private equity firms. We've been approached by a lot of, private investors to expand and kind of go, from just a Houston company to, touch some several different markets. And, I'm in the early stages, man. I've been talking to my guy, Tyron Matthew. I've been talking to, Jarvis Landry. Been talking to a few other guys. And, man, I want to put together, a pretty nice thing, a nice sanitation company built and kind of, off the principles and morals of just being an old LSU athlete, student athletes. So, we're at the early stages of that, man. But, we look to go up there and we want to establish, a company, ran and built by, former athletes.
I love that.
Absolutely. And obviously you mentioned the LSU ties, and I wanted to ask you because, like I said, you were in the absolute encapsulation of when I was at the biggest part of like my LSU fanhood. I've had to drop it lately now that I'm in the media business, I guess. But I wanted to get your favorite LSU memory from your entire time at LSU and what kind of sticks out to you that maybe people don't know.
Well, I'm a big Tyron Matthew fan. Mm-hmm. He's my favorite defensive player of all time, and he's younger than me. And he's somebody I consider. He's like a little brother to me. I got a lot of respect for his resilience and him overcoming a lot of things, hurdles that were self-inflicted, and also too just the nature of his environment. So, watching Tyron Matthew, the last year we seen him play, to the first 7 games to have a turnover and slapping the ball out the air in West Virginia and catching the ball, and Kentucky stripping the ball out, this punt return. I mean, just everything that guy was able to do, man. That collection that year, man. Every play he played that year, I believe it was back in 2010. 2010, 11.
Yep.
It was historical, man. So, I can't. I'll do it a disadvantage if I was to put one play on that. But man, that year that young man had, man, it was so unreal, and he did that before really social media.
Yep.
So I can only imagine, what would have been, what his experience would have been with today's climate.
No doubt. Russ, bro, I appreciate you. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming on. It's always fun to kind of talk to you and catch up. But I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm extremely happy for you and excited for the future of your company. I love watching you. I've been keeping up with you. Hopefully we can get you back on during the season, talk more about football, more about kind of how the season's going on and some of the guys that are going out there, because two of your boys obviously are back in Louisiana playing for the Saints.
Yep.
With Tyron and Jarvis. So maybe I'll
Jameis too. I'm a Jameis Winston fan.
Yeah, hey, I am too.
There we go.
I am too.
Hey, sing it. Yeah.
Jay Boo got me paid.
You're right.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Hey, he's back there chucking that shit to you, man.
Hey, fellas, one thing about him, he's never going to stop throwing the football.
Yep.
He's never. So you always got a chance, and I just think that embodies the spirit of just the Who Dat Nation. So I'm excited for y'all, man. It's going to be a big year for
and that's quarterback to quarterback.
I think he's a great fit here.
I think he is too. I think he's won. When you talk about the locker room, I think he's won the locker room over. I think he's got everybody on board.
Man, the hardest working man, and I'm not going to hold y'all, but I have to say this, he is the hardest working professional that I've ever been around. You're talking about somebody that's in the building, at 4:30 in the morning, that leaves the building at 8, 9 o'clock. He's lifting like crazy. He's running like crazy. It don't look like he's lifting and running shit. You know what I'm saying? And just good spirited. Like the thing with him is he's been a champion at a very at all levels. So he got a drive that's unmatched, man. But if you can tame that and you can put the right talent around him, like I think they could potentially have, I mean, man, you got a special thing, man.
Yeah.
Really special.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun.
Oh, no, one more before you go. Have you talked to, I'd imagine you've talked to Jarvis, you've talked to Tyron a little bit. How are they pretty much, how fired up are they for this Saints season to be able to kind of essentially come back home and play for the hometown Saints when that's something that was pretty much not on the table under the Sean Payton era? Not throwing him under the bus, very successful head coach. But I'm saying to be able to kind of bring the Louisiana guys back in, it feels like it means a lot to them to be back.
Man, this is special, man. I mean, you're talking about, historically two of some of the greatest players to ever play high school, college. And like I say, you catching these guys on the back end of their career when they're at their prime, man. When all they want to do is win championships. These guys don't care. They've made all the money. They've had all the success and the fame. So like I said, I mean, this is special, man. Like I say, I mean, from a football standpoint, a guy who's not really from the city, but they've adopted me. Yep. I mean, you can't get no more excited than this, man. Yeah. You got the honey badger and you got the river rat.
I love that.
Let's get the Side Ridge cat back.
Come on, man.
I love that. Hey, I'm fired up. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be because you have two of the most inspiring players on each side of the ball, so I cannot wait.
And you caught them both, like you said, right around like the beginning of the social media thing. So the hype of them grew and more than kind of what it ever had been before too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fellas, I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm coming to games just in general, from the LSU vibe to what the Saints are doing. I just think the city's on fire. Look, last year they sent us a king cake because obviously we're in the sanitation business and porta potties are a huge thing when it comes to New Orleans Mardi Gras.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they every year they do a surprise thing, and usually it's the baby inside the king cake.
Right.
Well, this last year the surprise was a porta potty. First time ever being done. So
hey, you still getting recruited, dog. I love it.
Yeah, that's a big account. That's $100 million account. So that's an account I definitely want.
Yeah, you gotta get that.
it.
We'll work on that. Hey, when you're in town, hit us up. We'll get you in studio. We'll hang out. We'll go to dinner, do something. I'm fired up for y'all. I'm fired up for the season.
Maybe you'll throw a pass in Baton Rouge for the first time.
Man, that's one thing Miles could have let me do.
Just one.
Just one.
Hey,
Terrence McGee throw that thing. Spencer Ware chucked one up.
Bro, I threw one in the NFL.
Yeah, you did. Hey, you did. And you also caught one from Odell in the NFL.
Like, come on, bro.
I know. Hey, Shep, I appreciate you, man. Take it easy, bro. We'll stay in touch, and we'll have you back on. I appreciate it.
Good stuff, bro.
All right, fellas.
Thank you.
Well, he's awesome.
I mean, I told you he was awesome. He's the best.
Oh, no, I met him one time whenever, when I'm telling you I was 14 or 15 years old, like peak fandom of like.
Look, so you legit bought a laptop just to watch his commitment?
To watch his commitment speech live, and I had a teacher come behind me and go, "Is it about to happen? Like, is it about to commit?" And he just sat behind me and pretended to teach the class, was staring directly at my laptop because he knew what I was doing. And so he, Russell commits, and we're all going, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. But yeah,
I think
That's
he's here.
Is he here?
Hey, you
Oh,
here?
yeah,
Where you at?
Come on in here. We don't need a break.
Yeah, man, come on, man.
Just come on in here.
Come take a seat.
Just come on, yeah. What up? Well, actually, we'll take a 30-second break.
Sure.
Introduce him. You get
How
reset.
long you been standing over there?
Appreciate it.
No, I'm trying to wave you in like
For
10
like an hour.
times. Hey, you got a shirt out the deal?
Not an hour.
You in a hot seat.
I almost stopped the Smoothie King, but I was like, shit.
Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We're brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Hey, I told y'all we're a football show now. We're gonna have football guys on the show. We just
Jack
had
of all
Russell.
trades around here.
What's that?
We do it all. Jack of all trades.
We do it all. Okay, we do it all.
We do it all.
Russell Shepard just came on. Electric. Now our friend
Electric.
Jay Mitch's boy turned into my boy.
Hometown
because
boy.
I met him through Jay Mitch
Yeah.
from Westgate. 337 boys. Deontay Spencer, free agent returner. He's just waiting. He's buying his time. He's been in the NFL for what, 3 years? Last 3 years?
Yeah.
Last 3 years. Went to the CFL. His story's crazy. He's a free agent. He's got to wait till the teams realize that their fifth rounder from last year can't return punts and kicks. So they're going to wait, and then he's going to sign. He's going to go somewhere. How has that? Because I was a free agent this year in baseball, and I ended up not getting the
Don't
opportunity.
you put that juju on him?
I'm not. I ended up not getting the opportunity that I wanted, and I had some other things happening off the field that I said I was okay doing it. How is the free agent world for you right now?
It's been interesting because this is my first time being in a situation where I'm a free agent in the NFL. I was a free agent in the CFL, and now this is my first time where I got to like obviously see the business of the free agency and stuff like that. So it's kind of been one of those things where I've been on edge because I'm like, I want to play football. But, you know, it's kind of like just being patient, trusting my agent. But I had a chance to sign with a team. I'm not going to say the team.
All right.
Like early on in free agency. But, you know, it wasn't what I wanted. So, you know, I kind of set back and I'm going to let it all play out. So it's been interesting. But, you know, the situation it's been kind of one of those things. I've been on edge, but, you know, it's going to happen. I haven't had to question him before, you know, God. So it's going to happen.
How about you just talk to everybody? Let them know, you know, obviously, like we have a lot of pro LSU listeners, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know your story. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tell people your story kind of leading up to your opportunity into the NFL. Give them the background on where you've come
Start
from.
from when you were playing
what you've
center field
done.
and you saw me hit a home run over your head.
Hey, so look, first I'm gonna address that now. So I think I was like a sophomore at Westgate. I'm standing in center field, and everybody like Mikie Mahtook, like you was that guy as team. So he literally
no respect at all.
He literally hit a ball. I didn't move from center field. Like once it came off the bat, I didn't move. I just turned around and just watched it dead center. And STM got like a I don't know,
A big
it's a
eye.
yeah. It's a wall.
Mhm.
But I didn't move, and I was just like, "Yeah, you got it. You got it." Bro.
For the first time I ever met him, he brought that story. I was like, I actually remember that. I remember that specific home run. I really do.
So a little bit about me. From New Iberia, Louisiana. Went to Westgate. Played pretty much every sport. Went to Mc'd. Balled out. Stayed there all 4 years. Ran a crazy 40. Got a chance to get in training camp with the Rams as an undrafted free agent. Got cut, got released the day of the conditioning test. So I hadn't pretty much done anything to prove myself. So kind of waited, went to basically what was the XFL at the time. Went to that for like 2 months, 3 months. And then I just waited and I went to the CFL. I signed with the Toronto Argonauts. Did 2 years with them.
You balled out.
Went crazy.
Yeah, you balled out in the CFL.
He trying to downplay.
I know he is. I know he is.
I was in Toronto.
Yeah, I played. No.
I mean,
you're like the guy.
Yeah, I was that dude. And just a little bit about the CFL. It's once you go to the CFL, it's pretty much the chances of getting back to the league are like crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's just hard because they kind of lock you into a deal. And after about 2, 3 years, 4 years, it's like the NFL teams kind of forget about you.
Yeah.
At that point. So I did another 2. I worked out for teams every year. Ended up going back. I worked out for the Saints. It's a crazy story. Worked out for the Saints. They didn't want to give me a signing bonus. So I went back to the CFL and ended up balling out again. And then eventually the Pittsburgh Steelers gave me an opportunity to come back down. Balled out in preseason with them. And then right when cuts were coming around, they wanted to put me on practice squad. And then John Elway called me, and I went to Denver Thursday night and started Monday night against the Raiders. So that's how my journey into the NFL
First of all, it's
turned
dope
out.
just to get the phone call from John Elway.
That's what I'm saying.
I was like happy, but like crying almost.
Right,
like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I was like,
I get it.
You didn't threaten him that you were going to play baseball.
And you were in a and you were in a receiver room in Denver that was pretty stacked,
it's
right?
crazy. Every year it got more crazy. You know, they draft Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, like
Tim Patrick
first, second
was there,
round,
right?
Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton. So I was in a room where, like, they pretty much told me I was going to be the returner, and every year they just kept drafting people, and I kept sticking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just kept. They couldn't get rid of me at that point.
Right.
So, you know, man, Denver was a blessing. Gave me an opportunity to go out there and live out my dream, and you know, I feel like I'm at the peak of my game. I feel like an opportunity gonna come, and I'm gonna be ready for it.
So you look at, for me, I look at the Saints and Diontae they have, right? And he kind of came in there.
Great player.
Was that?
Great player.
Great player.
Yeah,
right?
I study.
But like great returner, and that's kind of what he was there. And then they started last year. They had some guys go down. They gave him some opportunity at the receiver position, maybe a couple years ago. And like, damn, this guy's like, he's more than just a returner, right?
Yeah.
And then you see him, and you're like, damn, all I need is a team to be able to give me that one shot. Because listen, you don't look at yourself as a returner. You look at yourself as a receiver, right? Like a football player who was just a really good returner. So, like, how important is that? And obviously, you want an opportunity to return and be on a team, but you know, you also, how important is it to find a team that can, like, hey, I want to have a team that says, okay, we're gonna give you a shot to, like, you know, maybe catch some balls and get yourself out there in the receiver game.
And that's a big part of it because obviously when I was in the CFL, I did everything. I returned punts. I was the main receiver, did kickoff return. So I was always in the rhythm of having the ball.
Right.
And then, you know, when I got to the NFL, being in Pittsburgh, you know, having Juju and, you know, the Moncriefs, Diontae Moncrief, like it was a stacked room there, James Washington. So I had to pretty much like find my role within, you know, trying to and be myself.
Right.
Because I always looked at myself as a receiver first.
Right.
You know, 1,000-yard receivers, receiving years in the CFL, and did pretty much everything. So now I'm coming into the NFL, and it was like, oh, he's a returner. So it's like I'm not just a returner.
Yeah, right.
And, you know, in the NFL, it's like, okay, it's first rounder, second rounder, third rounder. Like, they going to get majority of the reps at wideout. So it was kind of basically knowing my role, figuring out, you know, where I felt needed in the mix, and also, like, I had to get used to standing on the sideline and just going catch punts and just doing returns. So I always
catching punts are scary.
It's like,
You got to be a fucking crazy person.
No, I'm gonna tell you
to go
because I
back
did it too,
there.
and he don't want to tell you this, bro. Catching punts is
Scary.
It's like suicide, yo.
Oh.
it's
Because you got idiots that don't care about the fair catch.
They don't care.
you gotta not have.
You gotta like.
You can't think back there.
No, you got to.
You gotta have little.
Mhm.
You gotta have. So when you step on the field in that situation, you gotta have like little regard for your own health.
Worse when they shank it and you got
Straight up.
to run up and catch it. Like,
If
oh
it don't
my
turn
God.
over, you're like, oh no.
I'm running forward. I'm running this way and they're running this way. And I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen.
And then it's crazy because when I came from the CFL, it was no fair catch. So I was in a
It feels bigger though.
yeah, and I was in a habit of just catching everything.
Pac-Man Jones.
No, like I was
Kamikaze back then.
You know, it was like I
Running
was in
through-
a habit of just catching everything. And then I got to the league and it's like, okay, the hang time is crazy. So now it's more thinking. And it's like I gotta really like feel my awareness of who's around me. Yeah. So it was a transition. I had to like
It's still
kind of
like, it's
you know,
not
get
one
back
look
into
and
the
go anymore.
get back into the rhythm of like, okay, I'm not in the CFL anymore. I'm in the NFL. I can fair catch. I can make decisions from my, you know what I'm saying? I had to make decisions, you know, on the run when it's gunners coming full speed at. So you got to really like, got to have no mind and be fearless.
Yep.
Like you got to be fearless back there.
You drive down the interstate with no brakes.
It's like driving and texting and like being aware of everything.
Do it every day, coach. Yeah.
Hey, here's my question though, as a returner, right? Like, it's scary, but how great of a feeling is it when you make that first move and you get that first guy to miss and you know, like, oh, I'm gone.
And you see that thing open up like
I'm
the Red Sea.
gone, and that's just me and the kick and the punter, and then you're thinking in your head, this motherfucker tackles me. I can't go back to the sidelines.
When people ask me how it felt to score my first touchdown, I really can't explain it because it happened so fast. And to be honest, I didn't even know
touchdown?
Panthers. 2020.
Okay.
It was crazy because it happened so fast, and I really didn't
It's your fault.
actually know what was going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I caught the ball. Like I can tell you because I saw it once I seen it, but in the moment, it just happened so fast. Like
That's probably the best
can't
thing. So you
even-
don't have to, like, it's just, if you're thinking about it and it's not.
Becomes a reaction,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it was just all.
See, I'll
reaction
ask
at
a
that point.
different question. He asked about like getting tackled by the punter. I'm more of when you're one-on-one with that white man back there. Are you just like, oh, this guy's about to get did up?
I just know the conversation with me and my teammates
You better not let it happen.
is, and it's happened before.
Uh-huh.
Jets, it's happened. So the conversation was real.
Faster than I
It got
think.
real disrespectful. Real.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's
I
like,
get it.
It happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? It happens. So.
Where do you? Go ahead.
What was the moment like? What was the moment? And I don't care if you like knew it in your mind before, but as you're going through these years in the CFL, what was the moment or game or like situation? What was the moment in CFL where you're like, man, I don't belong here, dog. Like I could do this.
I'm balling.
I would say my 496 game when I had 496 yards, but I would be lying.
496 yard receiving.
All purpose.
All purpose.
How many
So-
touchdowns was in that game?
I scored no touchdowns.
496, no touchdowns.
You scored,
touchdown.
yeah, 500 yards all
So,
purpose.
somebody got disrespectful in that game.
How does
They got
that happen?
disrespectful for you.
What they get? Good coach, help me out.
How does that happen?
No touchdowns. I mean, it was just big play after big play after big play. It wasn't necessarily like
We're going to goal line.
I can go over to the OC and be like, bro, like this.
Yeah.
I'm
Give me
in
in the
I'm
dirt,
in the
man.
zone. Like
Right.
we at
Give
the
me the
5.
ball.
I'm like, just pitch it to me. At that point. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But I would probably say probably my second year in the CFL. I was just because I was locked in, and my mindset was basically like I wanted to only be there 1 year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then it turned into 2, 3, 4. But after my second year, I kind of knew like I don't belong here. Like everything kind of started. I felt like a sophomore in high school. Everything just started slowing down, and pretty much at that point, it was just like I was doing whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah. That's a good spot to be.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's a professional league. I don't think I'm supposed to be. I don't think I'm supposed to be feeling like this on game day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like backyard type stuff.
Yeah.
And then people asking me like my transition from the CFL to the NFL, like how was that? And I'm like, I don't know. I picked off where I left off at because I was already in that mindset. Like
Right.
I'm already supposed to be here.
Is it
You know what I'm
weird?
saying?
Is it weird having the field goal post in the front of the end zone? Is that weird? Like,
Yeah.
I've always.
There's gotta be.
I'm
There's no
watching.
way
I'm
it's not.
watching.
End
I'm
zone
watching the
is 20
CFL.
yards.
That's what I'm saying. I'm watching the CFL. I'm like, how do people not hit that thing? Like when you're running for a ball and the quarterback leaves you out to dry, instead of leaving you out to dry over the middle for the safety, he leaves you out the middle to dry for the goalpost.
I feel like how do you use the middle of the end zone?
And to use it as a defender.
That's what I was about to say.
See, so you can use it as like a
Yeah, like a
extra,
pick.
A pick route.
pick.
Yeah.
And we had plays where it was like we get in the end zone, we get near the goal line. It's like you run a return route, run it in front of it.
And they come back.
Yeah, and like just come back. So it
So
had-
the pick you can't do in the NFL, you can literally use props on the field to
Yeah.
do it.
the end zone.
That's
So
crazy.
it was crazy, bro. Like I used the CFL as like a maturity thing. I matured. I was able to learn how to be a pro, how to take care of my body.
What kind of jackets to wear?
Yeah,
What you mean?
it's cold.
You got the goose, the goose down or whatever. What are they called?
Canadian goose.
Canadian goose.
No,
Canadian.
I had
goose?
that.
Yeah. Those are
but-
comfortable. Warm too.
Yeah, I grew up, and it was a blessing in disguise because, like, that made my transition to the NFL like way easier.
A lot
than it was-
easier.
Yeah, so
Where do you train in the off season?
I train everywhere. So I went up to Jupiter, Florida.
Not
shout
Canada.
Shout out to K Wayne.
Train with K Wayne. How's that?
Dope.
The best, huh?
Yeah, I want to move to Jupiter.
I know. I do too.
I want to move to
When
Jupiter.
he was here, I'm like, how the fuck do we lose him?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Now he's training Tiger Woods and everybody.
Yeah. Head
Literally.
kicks. T Lotch.
Yep.
In Lafayette. I was training with him like my whole entire time in the CFL. Shout out to T Lotch. And then now, when I'm back in Lafayette, I'm training with my guy Jalen James. So I be pretty much everywhere. I feel like the different training allows me to adapt to different situations. So
Right.
I train anywhere I can, pretty much.
So y'all both went to Westgate, obviously, right? And like Westgate, are known for having a ton of athletes.
Yeah.
Right. You've had both of y'all. You've had Tyron Walker. Now you have Kayshawn's here. Who else am I missing? I'm missing a
Derek
couple.
Williams coming out.
Yeah, Derek. So you have all these guys, right? Well, out of all those guys, there hadn't been a first round NFL guy come out of Westgate, which I didn't know. I just assumed that there was. Jared told me the other day there wasn't.
No. It's not a first round. We haven't had literally somebody walk on the stage and shake hands with Gadell.
Oh, nobody drafted. Nobody drafted. Okay.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy. So, right? So then I guess my question is, I'm watching your receiver. You went to Mc'd. Now, obviously, you're from Louisiana. You probably kept up with LSU a little bit, I would assume.
I wanted to.
Right,
I wanted to put those colors on.
Yeah,
so
right. So, like, you're a
exposure.
fan of LSU, even though you went to Mc'd. You see Kayshawn at LSU, right? Kayshawn's supposed to be, he balled out when he was playing. He's been hurt. He's projected. I saw today, Todd McShay came out with his, now this is, before the season starts, all this shit changes. There's 50 Alabama guys in the top 35 of those, but Kayshawn is the sixth, is projected 6 overall in his overall standings, right?
Mm-hmm.
How awesome has it, I guess, been for you to watch him, to see him kind of develop and maybe be the first guy from Westgate to walk up on the stage?
It's crazy because
Because I'm sure you knew him from when you
yeah,
was young.
that's my cousin.
Oh, it's your cousin?
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
He's a burner.
yeah, he was a track guy. He's
People
a
don't know
track-
that.
Yeah, he's a track
Yeah,
guy.
he was literally a track guy.
Yo, so it's crazy because seeing him just develop so quickly into, the guy he's now. He didn't really understand the receiver position. He was a track guy, so he was everything was full speed.
Right.
And when he was coming out of high school and him, figuring out what high school he was gonna go to, I'm like, it's a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy just watching him develop, seeing him over time, and being projected that number 1 receiver. If he does what he's supposed to do and stay healthy, the sky's the limit for him. People saying that he's supposed to be better than the Odells, the Jarvis, and me, I see it because he's still learning. He doesn't fully understand
You know how good he can be.
how great he can be. He can, if he stay healthy, I feel like he's gonna shatter.
And he is healthy right now. He's
Yeah,
back. He's back on the field. He looks good.
He's gonna shatter every record over there.
And I think, obviously, you don't ever want anybody to get healthy. To get hurt.
Yeah.
But you want everybody to get healthy.
Yeah.
You don't want everybody to get hurt. But I think sometimes going through an injury like that, being that young, not understanding things, helps, right? You have to see it from a different perspective. You have to put yourself damn, okay, now I have to work to get back and kind of hone in on your craft a little bit and kind of give you a new perspective on when you do play and how much you don't take it for granted now. And and I don't know, maybe, I don't know if y'all have had these conversations or not, but I think when you're healthy and you come back, it's I got this newfound chip on my shoulder.
Yeah, and I saw him today. I think he's in a great space. Obviously, him wearing number 7 is a tremendous honor. I think it's gonna help his maturity, knowing that he's a leader in that locker room. So he's got room to grow into being a guy that he wants to be. And just talking to him today, I think he's starting to understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of great players have put those jerseys on, those colors on, but he's starting to get it, and I think he's gonna take off. Just talking to him
so,
today,
too.
he's gonna go crazy. He's gonna go
Well,
crazy.
it's a little reminiscent, I'd imagine, for you whenever you were all right, I've gone to Canada, and you're all right, this is where I'm figuring out how to be a pro. Kayshawn has to figure that out right now.
Young.
And Brian Kelly has put that impetus on him to be hey, I'm not going to hand you anything. Obviously, the previous regime, a lot went on, and Kayshawn, I feel like everybody could do whatever they wanted. Brian Kelly came in, put the hammer down, and he picked Kayshawn, kind of picked on him a little bit because he's this is my best player. If I'm going to set a precedent, I have to do it with him. And Kayshawn responded probably in the best way possible, to the point where you mentioned it, he got 7, which means a lot to definitely the players. I'm sure the fan base has whatever, but it means a lot to the guys in the locker room.
I think it means a lot too to that coaching staff.
Yeah.
Just like you said, they came in here and they're setting a precedence of what they want to go on. So for them to be able to pick him as
And
the
him
first
as
guy,
Well, and think about this.
under their regime, it's a lot. It means
The
a lot.
new staff comes in and changes everything.
Yeah.
Nobody came in from the old staff. They made all these new changes.
Right.
But that he was kind of, he was
Yeah.
new, the newer guy from the old staff. But put their stamp on anything. The one thing that they kept here are the numbers, and they made an emphasis on making sure that it was important and making sure that they kept it. And I think that says everything you need to know. You know what I mean?
Facts.
let's talk about the NFL a little bit because you have perspective that none of us have. Obviously, I love football. Jay Mitch loves football. He played football. Lloyd was a fan of football.
Too.
I played. What do you think I know so much about punt return, bro? I was the one down there going,
Okay, so for me, and I talk about this all the time, we've talked about it with the quarterbacks in the NFL and how much of a passing league it is. Like, how much different is the NFL now, or how good of a spot is it with the quarterbacks, and how good are the quarterbacks in the NFL, and like how much like room for error? There's not much room for error, I would guess, right? In the game of playing quarterback and playing receiver.
I think being a quarterback in the league now it's a crazy amount of pressure that's being thrown on like the young guys that's getting drafted early, because when you get drafted that early, you're expected to come in and like
there's no 3 years of like learning.
It's no more 3 years. Sit behind a guy that's everybody's young, and the turnover is so crazy because like look at the Panther situation. Like it's pretty much 3 young guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's no room for error. And I just think like being in the Drew Lock era in Denver, Drew Lock was thrown in there and like he was expected to come in and like win football games, not just perform well, but like win football games.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like you got some leeway at receiver, like being on the offensive side of the ball and being in a passing league. It's all about the points now.
Yeah.
Like everybody's scoring, like trying to put up 30, 40 points a game. And I think that's what like Justin Herbert, he's done well. He's came in and he really don't lose football games. Like he's got a great team around him, great roster. And he's out there just he's just out there slinging the football. But he's making good decisions. I think that's just predicated to the offense he ran at Oregon.
Yep.
So if you can get into a good system and, a system where you don't have to really make a lot of changes or be under center, be in drop back, you get back there in the shotgun and it's like quick decisions, it's not no more thinking. So
how fast is the game? Like
fast. Not even just how fast that
fast.
I'm thinking about this too, like because you got a unique viewpoint of all of this
Right.
stuff. You go from high school to college to the CFL to the NFL.
You've played in every football league there is.
What's the
really?
As you've gone up the ladder?
You know what I mean?
You've gone up the ladder, like what's the difference in the speed and like the cleanliness of the game, if you will?
Speed. The speed is something you gotta adapt to quick. And I feel like if you don't adapt to the speed of the game, like coaches can narrow down the terminology.
Yeah.
Like if it's a second round pick, third round pick, first round pick, okay, we gonna look at his skill set and we gonna base things on what he does best, and we gonna put him in a situation where he can excel. Now, it's not so much based on how fast you can learn the game. It's just like if you can adapt to the speed of the game, the coach is gonna figure it out for you. Like they'll figure it out. They'll put you in a position to be successful.
I feel like now, man, like I remember when I was in college, I don't ever remember it being a thing where we went around the room and it was like, hey, what routes do you run best? Are you better from this side? Or are you better from this side?
Right.
Do you catch better looking left? Do you catch better? And I feel like they ask those questions and they do those things nowadays, where I don't think that was a thing back then.
And I don't think it was. It was just like you if you could run a slant, a post, a dig, you can play receiver.
Yeah.
Now it's like we drafting guys that can play well in the slot, who can get open against, because now it's an extra DB in the game now.
Yeah. Yep. And now we need a guy who can take the
nickel.
top off the defense. That's all you're gonna do.
Yeah, so the defense has a nickel who can cover pretty much the top receiver. Now it's like you got to find a guy that I can put in the slot and is gonna win one-on-ones.
Yep.
I can find a guy that's gonna take the top off the defense. I can find a guy that can go over across the middle and make contested catches. I think that's what the game's moving toward,
Right.
You know, because it's a passing game now.
And that fits different in everyone's offense, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
The Chargers don't run the same offense as the Saints. The Saints don't run the same offense as the Broncos. The Broncos don't run the same offense as the Jets.
Now,
So they're all looking for different stuff.
Now, here's my question though, right? So, with that, like the coaches can do all that, right? They can put you in a position to succeed. They can, okay, you're in the game, you're running the routes. This is the route tree that we're going to give you. These are the plays that we're going to call, packages or whatever. But at the same time, you're playing against a very sophisticated defense, a very sophisticated defensive coordinator, right? They're changing plays, they're doing all these things, they're disguising coverages. How important is it from the receiver position, right, to understand what they're trying to do and be able to say, oh shit, like this is like a man, this is where they were in man, or they're not in man. They're disguised. Like, how important is it to recognize that stuff and be able to say, okay, is that the next level? Like, is that the next progression as a receiver to take the next step?
Definitely, because I'm gonna give you a great example.
Because the quarterback's got to be. If you're not on the same page with the quarterback, that's interception.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a great example. Jerry Jeudy, probably one of the best route runners I've ever seen in person. And then great route runner, but also one of the most smartest, like, knows football. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can read defenses, do all of that. And I think his route running is so good because he understands the game. You know, and that's and he gets it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between, I think, guys that when NFL guys and coaches and staff sit guys down and get one-on-ones, it's like, that's the difference between, because the talent level is, I don't really, like, you can get a guy in the third round and fourth round, and his talent level is like, damn, I feel like he could have went first round.
Right.
But when you get a guy and you can sit him down and they understand the game, that's when you like, okay, now I see why he. Yeah, and like that's the difference, and that's the speed of the game. You might not get it, and that's the guys who, like, after 3-4 years, okay, like they're on another team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between a guy getting a second contract and a guy not getting a second contract. Being able to understand the game and play the game at a fast pace.
You've played against a lot of guys, right? A lot of really good players. You've played with a lot of really good players. Who is somebody, like, when you look at a team and you're like, damn, I gotta lock it this fuck in today.
Who was
because
your
this shit's gonna be
business
tough.
decision?
Yeah, like, hey, I gotta put my hard hat on because this day is gonna be tough.
Because you might see him again in a couple weeks. So who is it?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not a like, I don't really predicate my
Decision making.
my decision making on, like,
that's a good answer.
oh, like, he's that guy, or he.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that put that jersey on and tie them cleats up, like,
Yeah, they're good.
they can be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
So I don't really pay too much attention to that. Like, when I was in the CFL, like, I played against Delvin Bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because, like, that's when, like, I was that guy, and he was coming from the league, you know, like,
Played flag football against
playing.
them.
But I'm saying he was guarding Julio Jones and, like,
Yeah.
holding
Doing
him
well.
to-
His story is
You know what I'm saying? I feel
Unbelievable.
like when I got a chance to play against him, it was like,
It's a real
okay,
measuring stick.
yeah, like, game recognized game. Like, it's one of those respect things. You know,
Yeah.
I played in college. I played against Malcolm Butler. Like, so we played against each other the whole entire game. It's like me and him. Like, I line up in the slot, he's line up in the slot. So that's kind of where it's like I haven't really had that game in the NFL where it's like I've played against, like, Denzel Ward for the Browns.
Yeah.
Like, with significant amount of reps against him, I feel like he's a great player. But I just wouldn't say like okay, let me lock in to a certain guy on the field. Like, I feel like everybody's can have that day.
Yeah.
You know
Okay,
what I'm
well,
saying?
so guys you played with, right? Like, you're in training camp with Pittsburgh, right? Like, you've been around those guys, right? Then you went to play. You played in Denver for 3 years. Guys that you played with, who's the guy you played with? Like, damn, this guy's different.
Patrick Surtain, probably, like, when he got from, like, the hype was like, okay, we drafted Patrick Surtain.
Supposed to be an LSU guy.
Yeah.
Should have been.
Should have been.
Fumbled the bag.
Y'all
Should have been.
Y'all recruiting, bro. Y'all
Just telling the truth.
So when they drafted him, I was like, okay, 6'2", like long, like
Athletic.
fit the like first round
Mold.
Looked the part.
He got to Denver in the first practice. I was like, and he just like quick jammed me. He just like, and I was like,
Hey, man, you line up all sides. Get off
I'm
me.
like,
Yeah. Why are you on my side of the line of scrimmage?
I'm like, he is as advertised. And the crazy part about it is like, he was so fundamentally sound as a rookie on day one. I was like, he's gonna be like, in the next 2 to 3 years, he's gonna be like that guy that people like they don't want to throw to his side.
Best corner in the league.
Yeah, he's gonna be the best corner in the league.
Yeah. So I mean, being around a lot of guys you play with, a lot of guys you played against. Who in the league has gone from teammate or foe to like a brother in life right now? Like who?
So when I was in Pittsburgh, I got to Pittsburgh, and the first person that I really like clicked with was James Conner. Like, I feel like that's my spiritual brother. Like, we was made, and then I'm originally a Conner. Like, my grandmother and they married into Spencer, so like I'm a Conner. So like him having the same last name as my family members, it was like that's my spiritual brother. So we vibe ever since. You know, like he's helped me off the field, just like spiritually.
Oh, an incredible story.
Yeah, crazy story. And like it only gets better, you know, because we get older, and it's like, you know,
When
what
you
I'm
have a
saying?
camp, you go back and you give back to New Iberia, right?
Yeah.
You have a camp. He comes to the camp, right? And y'all played together for how long?
We basically was training camp into I don't even know how long the training camp was.
Yeah,
3
so
months.
3-4
months, the off season workouts. So we didn't really have that much time together, but it was just like, that's my brother.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
So since this day, man, it's kind of been like, you know, it's like brotherhood. Like, that's my brother. I can call him right now. He's gonna answer. He might be just getting out of meetings. Like, he gonna answer. You know what I'm saying? So, like that's kind of like, you know, like the game. Like, you meet so many people playing this game. But like that's kind of like,
Get dual citizenship.
yeah. Like, I hope. Shit, I'm trying to get dual citizenship.
I love me some Toronto though.
Yeah, Toronto was crazy.
We won't get into the stories of
Toronto was a good
Toronto.
time.
Toronto was crazy.
We won't get into stories about
Toronto was amazing.
Uh-huh.
And then especially coming from New Iberia, Louisiana, to like, that was pretty much going from St. Louis to Toronto. It was like, you know, it was mind blowing. I was like, this is New York City, a clean version of New York City.
Yep.
And I ain't had no money. I was just out there living, just playing football. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, this is crazy.
I'm gonna take it all.
Hey,
in.
did you ever? So you wanted to play at LSU when you were at McNeese? Did y'all play LSU? Y'all play? Did you get
We
to play
did
at
my
Tiger Stadium?
my freshman year. I didn't redshirt, so I got a chance to play against LSU.
Is that the rain game?
Give me the stat line.
I think I had 3 catches for like 19 yards and a little reverse for like 7, 8, something like that. But that's another crazy story. I was freshman year. I'm like in Death Valley. You got Claiborne. You got Tyron Matthew was a freshman. You got
I forgot that's when that was.
Patrick Peterson.
Who?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like if we wanna go back to like
Yes, we do.
those times, I mean, like, I was locked in. Like, I was like, I'm either going to Shepard at linebacker, Barkevius Mingo. They had like, I was out there fresh out of high school, 4 months removed out of high school.
I just left prom.
And I'm really out here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, and obviously, you know, them guys, like, that's professional. Like, 2-3 years, they done. They gonna be in the league. So, having a chance to like play against them, I think that's kind of like what gave me the confidence to like,
Well, you had nowhere to hide. You talk about Mo Claiborne, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Matthews. Like, you can't put me in the slot. Like, there's nowhere for me to go.
It was crazy out there. It was flying
Ed
bullets.
Reed. I mean, not Ed Reed.
that'd
Eric
be
Reed.
awesome.
That would have been awesome. Eric
Yes.
Reed was center. I mean,
Wait, he was there
safety.
too?
I can't talk.
Jesus Christ.
Bruh,
Jesus
it
Christ.
was some bullet. It was flying
That's what I'm
bullets out
saying.
there.
Hey, Coach,
Head on a
wait,
swivel.
no shallows, no crossers.
And then crazy, I had a shallow, and then all I thought was like, was the linebacker Shepard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bruh,
He's out
please
there.
don't drop back. Please don't. And
He ran the shallow watching
and
shot.
I ran a shallow, and I was like,
Get top.
I was like slowing. I was like, I'm not running full speed out there. Like I start slowing down. Quarterback threw it to me. I was just like,
You can take
6 yards. I'm like, I'm
Put
cool.
this
I'm
thing
cool
on
with
my
it.
number, though.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
like,
leave
I'm
me.
cool with it. So
Trying to hold X for that possession catch. On
that was crazy. But I mean, that was a crazy opportunity, crazy game. Obviously, I wanted to go to LSU, but
Right.
I made my own legacy at McNeese.
No doubt.
So it was crazy.
No doubt, dude. That's I mean, your story's nuts. I'm glad we talked about getting you on the show earlier, and then
I've been supposed to come on. the
I
show.
know, but then I got you. The last time we talked, it was too.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems like a good time.
Yeah,
It was too quick.
it's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I
That's your
didn't
fault.
want.
It
It,
happened, bro.
it was. Yo.
Yeah.
I take the blame. I
You
don't care.
took all the time. You selfish. It's not like you're getting married or anything.
Yeah. Trying to do a show here.
Hey,
But-
boys, you know,
But
Got a lot
I
of
hope
things on the
no. I
table,
hope you're
a lot of
not. I
irons
hope
in
you're
the
not
fire.
in Miami with us. I mean, I hope you are, but I hope
What?
you're not.
Yeah, it's one
Well,
of
if he
those.
is, then
It's
he's
one of
not
those.
playing.
It's one of those like
I told him. No,
I want to come.
No, I told him. I said straight up. I said, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna make this thing work. The way you're gonna come is you're going to
Miami.
sign. No, you're going to sign, and you're going to
Play for
play.
the
A,
Dolphins.
you're going to be playing a Thursday night football game. That
Ooh, that would be great.
you
who-
will have the
I'm
weekend.
Who plays Thursday night? That
I don't know, but that's
let's
what
look
we
it up.
gotta
What,
get.
when is it? Hold on. Let me look at that NFL schedule.
So that's the team y'all going.
Yep.
we got to figure that
Oh,
out.
crazy.
Fair catches all day.
That's what we got to do.
All right. So
Gotta get ready. I can't be getting hurt today.
let me see
It's
here.
the bye week.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Why don't I going back there?
Oh man.
I don't think I'm doing this right.
Nah.
No,
So it's got to be bye week or the Thursday
I'm
night
not. I'm
game,
not. I'm not doing. I don't have time.
and we
yeah.
in there like swimwear.
I'm gonna be real with you. Even if it's on a bye
You
week,
ain't
it's gonna
going.
be tough.
Yeah, you ain't going.
Thursday night
Oh,
game,
it sounds
and
like
we in
an
there
open
like swimwear.
invitation.
It's gonna be
Or
tough.
Hey.
he just plays for Miami. It's a Thursday night game in Miami, and they just
Pull up Friday.
That's
There you
it.
go. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Hey,
Whole lot
Miami,
of-
they need some help. Oh, they got. But then neither one of those two guys are gonna be
You
returning
think the
punts.
boys returning
No,
punts?
them boys
They're not
are
gonna put. They're not
returning
putting Waddle back there or Tyreek as much as they
They're
probably
not
want to
doing
do it.
They would love to do that.
Well, here's the quote we talked off air, right? Returning punch is real hard, right? And they showed who was it that caught 6 balls?
Pac-Man Jones.
Pac-Man Jones, but someone else did it the other day.
I saw
At,
someone do it too
It
recently.
was Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was,
it was Pittsburgh, right?
That's
So how many?
like
what was
Coach
the most-
Danny. Like that's a requirement. Like
Yeah.
we do that
How do
every
you catch
practice.
6 balls?
So
Oh,
it's
yeah, that's
it's
what we were
a
asking.
technique. Like so you obviously got to catch the first one. The catching the first one is the
most important part.
it's the important part. So you catch the first one. You put out. What I do is I put the first one in my left hand because I'm right-handed. I'm right hand dominant. So I'm gonna catch the second one, in my right hand, and then from there you add them up. So I put 3 here, catch here, and then from there it's like, cause I'm a small guy, so I put the
Fourth
You
one.
go
fourth
between the
one,
legs?
In your
fourth
legs.
one in between the legs, and it give me a
They move them around.
yeah.
Ooh,
gotta
so,
move 'em
so
up.
you wobble.
yeah,
you
you
have to hobble.
You can
with-
move them around after you catch them.
No.
No, I'm
They
talking
move
about
the punch
they move
around.
the punters all
Oh
the
yeah,
same.
they move them around. I mean, every punt not gonna land in the same
Yeah,
spot.
so how do you move around with the
Coming
ball
off
between
a-
your
are these
legs?
coming off
So
a
you
hot foot?
So yeah, what I did was I put the 5th one.
Well,
or
they're
the
actually
4th one.
kicking these. They're not. It's not off the jugs machine.
Yeah, I put the 5th. Yeah, it's off the jug machine.
Okay.
So I put the 5th one in my
Crotch.
between my legs, and then you just hop around with it and you try to catch the. And it's not easy. So
Yeah, no doubt.
if you can catch that 6th one, like
So because you catch the 5th one, the 6th one you're gonna have to like
You gotta put
wedge
it
it. You have to wedge it in
you
between.
gotta put it somewhere. And
Yeah.
then 9 times out of 10, just because I don't got that much space to work with, I can try to catch the 7th, but the 7th gonna probably knock the 6th one out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but it was just something for the. I feel like it was more for the fans.
No doubt.
You know,
Yeah,
But
it's fun.
But it goes to
It's
show,
fun.
bro. The people that are watching can't catch one, much less tuck, catch another, and have 6 in their hands at one time and be like, "Let me catch a 7th." Like that goes to show what the position is, because if you can't get started on that thing, if you can't, like you said, the first one's the most important. If you can't get going, we
I'm
can't
like, look,
play.
I can catch one.
I'm not gonna be back here.
How many joint practices did y'all have when you played?
None.
You don't have.
Well,
we have
the
one.
Vikings, and I didn't practice against the Vikings. But
How many fights did y'all have in the joint practices?
I wouldn't call them fights.
Yeah, little scuffles.
Scuffles.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Dust up.
It's hot.
It's scuffles. It's
Tired of
like
you being in my face.
it's
Yeah.
like the big
It's hot
dog,
outside.
the big dog
That's what you
from
just said, right?
from the other team and the big dog from our team. Like obviously, you're gonna get that special teams guy that's like he trying to run through something. Like he trying to run through a brick wall, and it's like, okay, like we get it, but you gonna get them guys, and then you gonna have the guy on the other team that's like, you're not about to play with me. You're not about to play with me like that. So you get those type of little fights, like grab their face mask. But as far as like fights, you gonna get some like.
You saw the one. You
Like
saw
see
the,
me after practice type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
In the locker room.
yeah, like
I'm parked right here.
you got it right now, but like you know where to find me after,
Yeah.
after
You
practice.
see, so you saw the Patriots and the Panthers fight.
I didn't see that.
They got in a fight, and they had apparently, well, they had one guy. I'm not gonna remember his name, but he was a cornerback. Now, this dude's gonna get released.
He was fighting and
He got kicked out of practice 2 days in a row, and joint practice started fights 2 days in a row as a cornerback.
Yeah, you say that, but Trevor Penning gets all the flowers.
Same guy, but Penny's not
Is
starting
that the guy
fights.
from the Saints, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
offensive
I
lineman.
mean, but I would give like he's an old lineman. Like they gon'
Right.
They gon'
He's not
they
starting
gon'
fights,
do
he's starting
that.
the little scuffles.
And
This guy started
and if I
full-on
had to
fights.
guess too, if we're being honest, if I looked at his draft position and the other one, they're probably a little different.
Yeah, Penning's a first rounder.
So
So,
the leash is a little longer.
Did y'all see Bradley Chubb hit Zeke
Yes.
in practice?
yes.
Yes.
So like for that, Bradley Chubb, that's my he one of the ones. Like that's my dog. Like, but that's a business decision.
Right.
Bradley Chubb come down the line and hit you like that.
You ain't saying nothing to him.
I mean, me, I'm not saying nothing. I'm like, that's my like.
Give me that honeybee helmet.
You
and
got
we'll
it.
take
Yeah,
it.
you. Hey, look, you got it, Chubb. You.
Hey, you hit me hard right there, man. Good job.
You got it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, for instance, you hitting Zeke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Jerry Jones ain't happy.
But what I'm saying is, I didn't see nobody from the Cowboys,
Good defender.
like O lineman, like other. If I'm on the offense and I see somebody on D, I might run from the other field. Be like,
Yeah.
bro, you tripping?
Yeah.
My problem with that was like I didn't see nobody like.
Come to back him up.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah, I
okay,
get
you
that.
can tell how the preseason
Well,
game
that's
going.
because you
You can
live
tell-
Indiana.
That might be it too, but like you could tell like how the preseason game gonna go by just the mentality. I'm
Yeah.
like, you gotta and what I'm saying is the guy from the Saints, like, at least you know he got some dog in him.
No
Like, you know what I'm
doubt.
saying? Like,
No doubt.
at least you know he gon'
Fight for my own.
We talked about this. I'd rather have to pull you back than have to make you
yeah,
go.
like we don't got we got
Yeah.
pit bulls out here. We don't got no puppies.
Hey,
No
dude, the
puppies.
puppy's pissing on the porch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously when it gets to game time, like, okay, now like just be smart about like,
Yeah.
don't hurt the team.
Right.
But at least we know he got some dog in him. You know, like
No doubt.
don't just.
Especially
That's-
the left tackle.
that's
The
unacceptable.
guy's name was Kenny Robinson. Kenny Robinson. So I guess
Auburn?
I don't know where he's from, but McCaffrey got hit like by
He played for the Panthers though.
Kenny Robinson,
Patriots, I think.
Panthers cornerback Kenny
Oh, it's
Robinson,
the
right?
Panthers.
Oh,
So
Panthers.
McCaffrey got hit, and then Kenny Robinson hit Christian Wilkerson and stood over him, and then I guess he blocked him like kind of a cheap, and then he stood over him like taunted him, and they got in this big fight, and then they went all into the crowd and shit. Like,
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm about to check that one out.
yeah.
But
And then they had
yeah,
like,
like you gotta. It's at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
it's business. Like you can be out there fighting and all that. Just know like your job on the line. You know what I'm
No
saying?
doubt.
Like,
Yeah.
just be
No
smart
doubt.
about what's
Yeah.
going on. Keep the main thing the main thing. Yeah.
what guy in the NFL right now, nobody's really talking much about that you think like, damn, this guy's gonna be good. You know? Do you have anyone on top of your head? Or team that's like maybe not that good? Because we're watching Hard Knocks, And obviously you see
Bro, it
Detroit.
might be Denver.
Well, Denver was always going to be good. They just needed a guy to be able to put it all together. I'm not saying Locke wasn't the guy, but
I think
now
they
you
said
got
Locke
Let's
wasn't the
Ride
guy.
over there. You got Russell
Yeah.
Wilson, the
This guy's
chameleon,
doing
the
draw
chameleon.
rep. Yeah, yeah.
You got
I'ma
the
say-
chameleon over there.
I'm
President.
gonna say,
The president
and
is perfect.
I wouldn't say it's a guy that's kind of like just floating under the radar. And I mentioned him earlier, Bradley Chubb. You know, having a Pro Bowl year, his early on in his career, dealt with a couple of injuries. That's my guy. He's healthy. Obviously, you know,
Chubb and you had Von Miller.
yes, and they never really played
I know
together.
one was hurt, one was
So I think that obviously being that guy, being drafted early, having something to prove, he's locked in. I feel like he's in that zone to where he can have that 18, 19, 20 sack season. Yeah, he different.
Yeah.
He different.
So far, I'm okay. Go ahead, finish.
And I think that a healthy Bradley Chubb that's like everybody is, let's ride the offense. Like they gonna score points. Like Russell's a great quarterback. They gonna score points.
They got a lot of receivers.
I think that he gonna
Running back's
show
good,
it.
right? Was it Javonte Williams?
Javonte.
He's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he different. Like
Yeah.
I'll be on the sideline, like just like okay, he breaking. People don't want to tackle him. Like he shifty. His balance is crazy, and like he's an aggressive runner. He makes it almost look like it's too easy. You know what I'm saying? And I think like
Leonard Fournette in college, where it's like I'm seeking out contact. I want
yeah,
to make you
like
come get me.
and he like it's scary because like he'll like look like he about to drop shoulder and he'll jump over you. Like he'll, you know what I'm saying? Like he that shifty. Like he that crazy with. He's athletic. Like he's crazy athletic. So I think he's gonna have a great year too.
So far in the league, favorite place to play? Like where have you been where it has just been rude as shit? Wherever you like everything you heard there.
So
Philly?
my first.
I was about to say the same thing.
My first year with the Broncos, Monday night game, Oakland. We was
In Oakland.
and this was the last. This was in Oakland. This was
so
the
they're
last.
already
you played on the baseball field.
This was the baseball field.
Yeah.
That was my first ever NFL game, and when I tell you, I heard everything in the book from
Everything.
yes, everything. I don't even want to speak on it, but. The black hole, like being, and then I'm like the opening kickoff, like I'm in the back of the end zone, so I'm right there. Like I feel like they talking
I got metal
over my
spikes on one cleat.
yeah. So like I'm just, and some of the stuff they were saying, I'm like, okay, they passionate, like this.
Yeah.
This
just
means something.
And they're already mad because they're not gonna be there anymore.
team leave, and I'm like, yeah, this is
Going out
a
with a
scary
bang.
fit, like you know what I'm saying, and
Coming
like
from McNeese.
good thing it wasn't my first ever like football game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'd have been out there like
Mouse.
spooked. I'm like, and you see the people beating over the railings and
With shoulder
the Raiders,
pads.
I'm like, who wanna play in that?
That's what they want.
That's why
It was crazy.
That's why it was tough. It was a shame that they weren't good for a while, like when they were there, because when they're good, you have to think that crowd plays a big difference,
Yeah,
right? Like, plays a
It
big
was
role in
times
it.
10 probably. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, Saints have a big one. Bills have a big one. Like, Bills have got to be tough, too, when you go out there.
The Bills in general, just the atmosphere, it's always, the wind's always crazy. Obviously, being a punt returner, so that's like the goalpost shaking, the flags. Like, I'm just like, we supposed to play football in this. Don't let it be cold.
To try to catch punts and that kind of stuff?
It's crazy because then you gotta just go back to like technique and like being true to what you know what I'm saying. Like you know what I'm saying, like who you are, and like even Denver. Like Denver was being in the altitude, catching punts. Like
Left titty, right titty.
Ball's just trying to stay up,
it's times,
right?
Yeah, it's times too. And then like I'm one of the, I'm coming from the CFL. Like I don't want a fair catch. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like you gotta really like be in tune with what's going on. Like, so I always want to return. Like, I don't want a fair catch. So
Well, yeah, Pac-Man Jones is known for like never fair catching. I don't think he's ever caught a fair catch in his NFL career.
yeah,
Well, every
I
time
don't
he's been
know.
back there, which is
I mean,
insane.
and then you start thinking in business, like you start doing that, you ain't gonna be around too long. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you got Pac-Man money, yeah.
Yeah. So
You get your
Man,
head
running in
taken
from the
off- you get
2
your
yard
head
line.
taken
What is
off.
he?
Hey, did y'all see Antonio Brown's interview?
What interview?
The recent interview? You didn't see that?
oh, wait, you talking about
Where that girl was asking the questions?
Oh no.
with him
With
saying
the
like
quote
tell
tweet?
Jerry Jones to call me?
Uh-huh.
Like, I
No.
saw a little bit of
Dude,
it.
you gotta pull it up. I don't know if we can show.
I mean, Jerry's quick on the trigger.
It's not. They're asking him a question.
No. What was
This is well, actually, this is. Let's just get into the segments because this is my curtain call. When we pull it up, but you're just gonna finish out the show list. But dude, it is so
You
funny.
go see. I feel like a lot.
I'm
of
a right
people,
pet guy. I'm a right
Okay,
pet
so
guy.
thank you. That's all I was gonna
I
ask.
don't
'Cause
wanna
I
be
feel like a
telling-
lot of people try to
I
simmer
don't
it
want
up.
to be telling all of my.
Oh, okay. So
'cause-
you're a left pet guy.
Yeah, because nowadays punters
they know.
they'll punt.
Hey,
Just-
speaking of punters, how about who's the guy that punted the ball from Arizona? San Diego
San Diego
State.
Oh
State.
my goodness.
He kicked it like 86 yards the other day.
punt god.
See, but like he can go.
Ariza.
He can go 86, but like
Can you down it?
you got to think
Nobody
about.
covering
You
it.
can't.
Yeah,
you
he's gonna
gotta-
outkick the
You
coverage.
can't be out kicking your coverage. Like that's cool every
Unless
now
you're
and
getting
then.
married.
Yeah.
I'll kick your
Yeah.
coverage. when
But you
get
can't
That's
be.
married.
the only
You can't
coverage
do
you
that
want
every
you
punt.
wanna outkick.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like field position. Like most of the time it's like hang time is like huge in the NFL.
Now, what if he kicks it 80 yards with a 5-second hang time?
Now you're gonna need like 6, then.
Then I mean,
Yeah, it'd be
what
sick.
you what you
Yeah,
what
you
you need
can't-
the what you need the defense for?
That's what the NFL wants so
He
badly.
doing that. I'm like, that's crazy though. When I seen that, I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has a.
he just kicking. I don't
He's
even- I
kicking
don't
it
even-
like Aussie style, like he's rolling out and like
Oh, that's when you
he's doing
start.
crazy stuff.
That's when you
I
start.
kind of want that though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you
Like,
got space.
Yeah, 'cause you have
like,
opportunity
you
to-
give me
yeah,
space.
yeah.
Well,
That
give me
was a kickoff
space. Like
return.
I could do.
Yeah,
I could
that's-
freestyle the hell out of this.
Right.
if I get a couple guys that's like,
Mm-hmm.
you go into you study a couple kickers like the hang time crazy. It's like all right, like it's.
I was gonna ask
it's
you
gonna be one of
strategy.
those days. It's gonna be one of those days.
I was gonna ask like how you like to set stuff up, but I'm not gonna. I don't want you to give out your secrets on air. You know
Well,
what I mean?
I'll ask you how frustrating is it when you see a guy with a big hang time? You're like, I ain't gonna do. I'm gonna have to take a chance today.
So like, you gotta go, and it's crazy to think like this, but obviously studying film throughout the week, you get guys who like got a crazy hang time. It's like, I don't think I'm gonna be catching
Yeah.
or returning that many punts. And you got guys who kick to the sideline or like try to pin you down in the end zone, like backed up in the end zone. So getting a guy with a crazy hang time is like he might shank something. So
Yeah.
like you gotta go out there with like a clear mind. Like you just can't necessarily think like,
Right.
okay, he's gonna put based on how he's standing and he's gonna kick it to the right side of the field, and then you go out there and he like shank a punt, and then like
Yeah.
now you like screwed. You know what I'm saying? So
You
What
ever
you know
look
about
gotta be-
Shanks? You a golfer?
I mean, I played today actually.
Did you? Where'd you play?
What is Webb Memorial?
Oh, Level Beach.
It wasn't the best course, but
No, you should have done
I only
better.
played the front nine because I had to be here. So I shot 7 over, but I'm still in.
You
that.
working on it?
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking 3.
He
You're
gave
good.
himself like 6 mulligans. You lying
I'm
right
still,
now?
no. See, and I showed him my card today,
Yeah.
and the first I already knew what he was going. Man, I'm like, come on, you come out there with me though. That's my next.
That's
thing.
what I did. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Hey, so how like when you watch the game, right? Like it's tight game, like offense isn't doing much. Like it's kind of a defensive type of game, right? Like, do you watch the game and see the feel of the game and like, all right, like I gotta make something happen today. Like this guy, even if I'm maybe not shouldn't return this, like I gotta something's gotta happen.
And obviously I'm thinking like that, but like being in Denver, because our defense was ranked top 5
Right.
pretty much every year I was with Denver. So it's like most of the time they not getting pinned back, or like our defense was kind of like bend but don't break.
Right.
They'll like get to the 45 and like now heels on the 8, heels on the
Yeah.
10-yard line.
Yeah,
I'm
true.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, our defense is crazy good. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I always want to like have an opportunity to
Yeah.
return, but And then obviously being in Denver, the hang time, guys get a little extra hang time. I don't really get a lot of kickoff returns because of the altitude, but I get frustrated sometimes. Like, you know,
what's the rule? Feet on the. Oh, I guess you said heels on the 8, but heels. You say heels on the 10 over your head, let it go.
Heels on the 8. I do
heels on the 8. That's the rule.
It's depending on how I'm comfortable with my heels on the 8. So
I got you. You found it?
I'm pulling it up right now.
AB, I missed AB in Pittsburgh because
when he
went on, he went on like the
Raiders rant.
Yeah, the tantrum, the rant, whatever you want to call it.
So when he flew in with
and I was like, bro, I'm like, dang, I'm gonna get to, because everybody say he was like tremendously hard worker, practice hard. I wanted to be around that. I wanted to be.
Yeah, you want to see
I wanted to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I felt like that's what I worked hard. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so
how's Big Ben?
Big Ben was like, man, it's like, you know, playing with the legend. You kind of get that vibe. Like it's like kind of walking on eggshells, but like you get to talking to him and it's like he's normal. Like he's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's cool. Right. He's a cool dude.
Well, no. I mean, Big Ben's cool and all, but give me Mike Tomlin.
Intense, like locked in. And I feel like that's. I want to say this on the record. I'm on mic. Going to Pittsburgh from the CFL was probably the best thing to ever happen to me because the culture there is like obviously they're still away, but Mike Tomlin, like, he gets the best out of every single player. I don't care if you're on the practice squad, like, don't have a chance of making the roster. He's gonna give you every opportunity to showcase your talent, you know, and give you the utmost confidence to like feel like you belong in this league. And like, rest in peace to Coach Drake, my receiver coach when I was in Pittsburgh. But like, those two guys gave me an opportunity to like get back into the league and like prove that I belong there. And every single day, like, Coach Tomlin would like he'll come back there and like stand behind me in practice, like, all right, 8-2, like, all right, Spence, like, I'm watching you, like, that's I wanted that, you know what I'm saying, like, I needed that.
He's giving you attention. Like, usually some coaches say, this guy, he's not gonna make a team, I'm not gonna give him any attention, but he did. And
you gotta like, in being in a situation where like I'm trying to make this football in me, that like, don't shy away from it, like, be that person you was in the CFL, and I feel like that kind of like gave me, and even when I like the confidence of like, you know, just, you know, my first year I was a Pro Bowl alternate. Second year, like, being in the mix of like coming from the CFL and being in that mix,
it's like hang time up.
Yeah, like I got that, you know, I got the chance to like showcase that in Pittsburgh, and I feel like they bought that out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I could have easily came to the league and just like shied away from it and be like, okay, I got my opportunity, but like they was like, nah, like when Denver called me and like I was going to Denver, he was like, go get that bag, like go get that bag, like go show what you about.
That's
like,
awesome.
So hearing that was like, I'm like, damn.
Now, do you have, when they call you, right? Like Denver calls that you're supposed to go on the practice squad. They can sign you off the practice squad. Is that kind of what happened, or they got you before you got put on the practice squad?
So like
so that was released.
Yeah, like I got released to be put on
the practice squad.
Like the situation was being released and being put on the practice squad.
Signing you back to practice
squad. Yeah, they was
going.
Right? So that
Cat's not real.
That was what's gonna happen. Really, and then it's like a 24-hour, you know, it's like a 24-hour time that I can go on waivers, and they can claim me. And like that next morning, I think once like 12 o'clock hit, once like the official like the league day started, it was like 12:07.
Oh, they called you right away.
Yeah, it was like 12:07 or something, like 12:08, and I was just like, dang. And obviously, like I had, you know, like I still talk to TJ Watt, like I still talk to all them guys in Pittsburgh, and that was the culture. Like it was a family culture, and like even when I had the opportunity to play Pittsburgh twice that year, and I would go back there, and it was like just like going to midfield and talking to Coach Tomlin, and like, you know, the guys are like excited for me. It was like that was the culture there.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it was
awesome.
like it was crazy, and I was just like, bro, like even my teammates in Denver, they was like, bro, you don't play for the Steelers. I'm like, bro, that's like my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my.
And there's a reason why Pittsburgh hasn't had a losing. Was it right? Hadn't had a losing record in like
ever Tomlin's
Tomlin's
never had
never
a
had
losing
one.
Tomlin's
season.
never had one. I don't know when
Yeah.
the last time they had one.
There's the reason why they've only had three coaches
head
in
coaches.
like 50 years.
Because of that. That's crazy. Crazy.
Listen, it was a
Tomlin
blessing.
probably grew the grass out for you too. He knew.
Look, I don't know nothing about that.
Hey, you better step on the field a little bit too, Jacoby Jones.
He didn't
Watch
do that.
yourself, man.
He didn't do that to me, so we good. So
All right. You want
I
to get
know
through
I did it.
You want to get through the segments?
Yeah, I
So
got.
I want-
all I have is right now is our boy AB from TMZ Sports. Shout
That's
out
fine. That's my
TMZ
that's my
Sports.
current call. So we're not gonna do current calls. We're gonna do. We don't have the not my fault today, right? We don't have one.
No, we had the computer
Yeah.
issues. Sorry. So
Yeah,
I was,
no, it's okay.
That was what I meant to do.
The
when I
not
came
my
in here.
fault that was on from Jack.
That's aggressive.
Jack, I know you're listening.
Thank you.
I appreciate the effort. That was aggressive. We'll show it to
We'll
you.
show you
after.
off air.
We'll show you off here. It's aggressive. We can't do it. Let's open up a
lot
can
of
of
moving
worms.
parts.
There's a little bit of a can of worms that I don't think people want to listen to and want to talk about. It's gonna hit home to too many people. I think.
I'm like looking at the doc. I'm like, I don't see that.
No, we took it
anywhere
out.
in here.
We took
Took
it
it
out.
out.
We took it out.
don't do that.
Look at Jack.
Yeah.
Look at Jack just
All right,
doing
well,
the work.
Not My Fault is brought to you by Dozy Place. Sorry that we're not going to do it, but we got what? It's the 17th, and season's in like 3.5 weeks. First Monday night game, we have the show here. Dozy Place will be the food that we're having for dinner on Monday night.
Catered.
I mean, I guess it's catered. Yeah, I guess that
No,
would
we'll
be.
pay for it.
Yeah, we're
but-
paying for it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pull up.
Yeah. Well, you hopefully be playing though.
Yeah.
If you're not,
Hopefully, I'm playing.
if you're not playing, pull up.
Bet.
We're gonna be
If
watching.
you
the
ain't
game.
going yet.
Yeah, we'll
come
be
through.
bet. You won't be betting, but we'll be betting.
Yeah, you
Speaking
can't-
of
you
betting,
can't do the
actually
betting. We
speaking
do
of
the
betting, before we get into the curtain call,
Look, y'all talking about bet cut.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't do the
Yeah.
betting. We do the betting. You
You
can't
ain't
do the
doing
betting. We do the betting.
Pete
Speaking
Rose,
of-
I did not bet on baseball.
speaking of betting, our friends at Caesar Sportsbook, these guys right here, I'm showing you the sign, right, have done something really cool for us. They've given us a nice little promo code. Promo code is MMLSU15. Download the app. Use our promo code. Risk-free bet up to $1,500, right? Which means, which I've explained a lot of times, your first bet when you download the app is risk-free. So if you bet $1,500, you get that money back in betting credits if you lose. Hopefully you don't lose and you get that money back. Yep. But use MMLSU15 to enter to win 4 tickets to the LSU Florida State game in club level seats in New Orleans. So, those tickets are going for a lot of money. They're hard to find, but we got 4 of them. We're trying to give them away. Nice, like that. Appreciate that. MMLSU15. Use it. All right.
What?
Yep.
What he said.
Yep.
Are you signing up right now? Do we not have tickets?
Huh? I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on it. That's not me. You have to talk to Katie and them.
Okay. I'm
Because
saying.
I'm working on it. I mean, listen, I'm trying to get it the other way, and Caesars is
A lot of red tape.
a lot of red tape. A lot of red tape. Okay, now curtain calls are brought to you.
Calvin Ridley
Law,
did this.
law offices. No, don't put him in that. Law offices of Lance Bill.
He can win the tickets. He's out for the
Curtain
year.
call. Curtain call is brought to you by Lance Bill. Law offices of Lance Bill in Lafayette, Louisiana. My curtain call is. I don't even know how to is the answers and just how entertaining. Antonio, I mean, AB is going to be. He's going to make a lot of money off the field, whether it's rapping
He's an
or whatever
entertainer.
he's doing. He's an entertainer, and he's always going to be in it. But this is it's so funny. Just you got.
Roll the tape. Because I didn't see this. I don't know.
Listen, people want you to come back to football.
Tell Jerry Jones to call me.
Really?
Hold on, restart.
Yeah?
Let me know when y'all are ready.
We ready.
We're ready.
Roll it.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Listen, people want you to come back to football.
Tell Jerry Jones to call me.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Okay,
You
what?
want the production?
Yeah?
Maybe.
Maybe? Where do you think you could end up?
In the sky.
In the sky. Have you spoken to Tom Brady at all?
No, but tell him I missed the passes. I'm still open. Look, show I'm open.
Yeah?
Show the fit.
Hey, this looks good.
Show 'em open.
Are we gonna get another album soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna put one out soon.
Yeah? September. When?
One of those days of the month.
Do you have any features? Any feature with Kanye?
Working on it.
Yeah? All right. Thank you very much. It's great to see you. Bye.
They might know each other. They might know each other.
This man said, "Tell him I'm Mr. Pass."
He said,
"I'm open."
I'm open.
You want to talk to the play the Cowboys? Maybe.
Be the GOAT, man.
Where you gonna
Yeah.
be?
You can't be
Man.
mad at it. You can't be mad at it.
Hey, bro, he knows what he's doing.
Hey, be the GOAT.
No, I
That dude,
disagree
bro.
wholeheartedly.
Jerry
think he
Jones,
knows
call
what's
me. I'm serious. I'm
Call my man. Call him.
I'm serious.
returner.
He said maybe. AB was talking about maybe.
I ain't
Call
no
me.
baby over here. I'm
Hey,
serious.
you can't spell maybe without AB.
Ooh, that's
Look at you.
tough.
Look at
You need
you.
to hit him up and see if he gonna make some shirts. He
We're gonna
probably
be in the sky.
sky.
That man's unbelievable.
What's your current call?
Tell Tom I'm
I don't have
Mr.
anything, bro.
Passes.
I've been doing this stuff.
The coldest I thought was yours.
I think that was Jackie's, but I'll take it.
He said tell Tom Brady I'm still open.
I'm open.
I love those. I miss those passes. I'm still open. Just watch. Show him how open I am. And you may have to take a video of her in the street. I'm open.
What is he wearing?
Y'all boys is crazy.
He had knee highs on in August.
You didn't like that? I mean, shit. I mean,
We don't run the same circles.
Your fashion, his fashion, completely different.
Wore this 3 days in a row. But you like that shirt in there?
Oh man, I threw that on my IG.
Yeah.
What shirt?
The Jarvis and
They ain't seen it yet.
Oh, they ain't.
No, you did the right thing. Give him
Oh,
a
I
little,
did?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I haven't
see
seen
it?
it. I have no clue.
I
what
ain't
y'all
seen
talking
it.
That's tough. I mean,
Oh, it's
just
bro.
imagine if I would have went to LSU though.
Oh no.
Dude, speaking of, how about Colby Richardson coming from McNeese going to LSU? Do you know who that is?
No.
He's a
He's
cornerback.
Okay.
He's a
That
cornerback.
leads you into this. Yeah.
Cornerback that Frank Wilson coached at McNeese, brought him as a transfer, and it looks like he's probably about to start.
number one. Was he? What number was he at? McNeese. Cause I went to they didn't play. It was weird because they had like a off-season like they
Yeah, it
with
was
the
weird. Yeah,
hurricane and stuff.
the FCS
So,
schools played that like
yeah.
weird the spring
Yeah.
Yeah, he
season.
was one.
I talked to
Yeah.
Coach O that game.
Number
That's
one.
what. Yeah.
But he was 190, I think, at McNeese, and now he's up to 205. And they put some. He's 6'1", 210, 205.
At cornerback?
At corner. They
I mean, I love it. Like,
No
I
doubt.
hope he starts.
They say he looks
He's getting
good.
burned.
They say he's looking good.
That's what's up.
Love that.
I tried to do that, but LSU didn't want me.
Well, play cornerback.
Not transfer.
Oh, transfer.
Back then it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it
they
wasn't-
had portal
yeah,
same, though.
it wasn't a thing. I
You'd
was
have the
like,
same.
you'd have the
Yeah.
portal.
I mean, like, I'll sit out a year and then.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to,
The
right?
transfer in there wasn't the same.
Probably not. They just didn't.
Because FCS to FBS, I don't think you have to sit out.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know how that works. I'm glad I didn't have to deal with the transfer stuff.
Made it regardless.
You made it. Now look at you. Lake Charles.
We lit.
Lake Charles and Baton Rouge is a little different.
Yeah, definitely. Totally different.
A little different.
Don't act like you don't ever stop in Lake Charles
Hey,
on your way to
actually,
Houston.
I actually just drove through Lake Charles yesterday.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
you want my jersey and Buffalo Wild Wings out there? So
Okay.
What is
Alright.
like
Stop
check
and
that
tell
out.
him you know me.
Go check that
Is
out.
there a casino there?
Yeah.
In Lake Charles? That's all they have.
No. What's
That's
the? But
it.
what's the blue?
That's all we got.
What's the blue? The blue
The
bar.
Nugget?
Blue Martini.
Blue Martini.
It's in the casino.
Let me tell you about the Blue Martini.
Oh.
I'll visit Blue Martinis in any city. I'm in.
Hey, we used to go to the Blue Martini when we used to train right outside of Tampa in Wesley Chapel. There was a Blue Martini in the mall, International Mall, which if you've never been to International Mall, it is a good place to be.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of restaurants. And this is
Wow.
when Tampa Bay, the Bucks were terrible. And it's when, who is it, Raheem Morris?
Yes.
And you would walk in the Blue Martini, and Raheem Morris was in Blue Martini every day in the back, and he was
Lit.
yeah, he was working his shit out there. He was working his game. And you see some players going in and out. Blue Martini now that's not there anymore. They closed it down.
They closed that one?
They probably had
Not
to.
the one in Shreveport. I mean Lake
No,
Charles.
that's one in Tampa. I never been in one in Lake Charles. I mean,
They probably when Tom Brady went to Tampa, he probably made them close it.
yeah, hey, no,
So
we
they
can't
can lock
be.
in.
Yeah, we can't be.
Yeah.
No, we can't be
And he
doing
went-
that.
Yeah, they won a Super Bowl.
It was right down the street from the
That's how you
stadium.
lock in.
and too
right
much
down the
temptation for Tom.
That's how you lock in.
That's how you lock
close.
in.
You close.
Make them close
Tom
the
said you only
bar.
get Ocean Prime.
Yeah.
You don't get this one too.
I'm trying to go
You
to
don't get two
Miami,
of them.
coach.
What the Ocean Prime there? They had what's the other steakhouse?
Oh, 13
Nope.
Prime.
Nope.
Prime. You thinking
Prime 112.
You thinking of Miami? Prime 112 is in Miami.
Prime 112.
And Prime 112 is.
Yeah, Prime
112 is
Italian and Prime
prime.
112 Miami.
Hey, Prime is. Ooh wee.
Hey, we
Prime
used to.
112
So
is- you might not get a seat in there. But
Yeah, you might not.
Yeah,
You
you
probably
get-
won't.
I went to Prime 112. It was me. We had like 6 of us when we were playing
Louis?
for Detroit, and we're sitting at a table, right? And it was Stanton and Ramos was their closer at the time, and I played with Ramos.
Little AJ.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah.
And I played with Ramos in the fall league in 2011, so we knew each other. I obviously didn't know Stanton. They're sitting at the table, and bro, listen, Stanton's a good-looking dude. He's 6'6", shredded, like in Miami, like you know. So he's sitting there.
Changed his name for the city.
He is sitting there, dude, and girls are just coming up to the table. Like I'm talking about, like trying because they had a table for 4, and only him and AJ were there.
Like a conveyor belt.
Yeah, dude, and they're sitting there and
rotational.
like
Oh, you can
tens,
eat.
Bullpen.
tens,
Let me try
and
again.
tens, and like they're going through, and he's just like not kind of giving them the time of day. They're just kind of going through, and so we're sitting there and we're like, you know, doing whatever, drinking, and then all of a sudden we look over, 2 of them caught his attention. He called them over, sat him down at the table. I'm like, damn.
Curtain call.
Tough.
I was like, this dude is just.
Speaking of restaurants and teammates, have you ever got picked for card roulette?
Oh.
I did. I didn't lose it though. Wow. I didn't lose it.
Have you
You
ever
took the L?
lost?
I've took the L in a situation where it was a small group.
Oh, I was
I
good.
took the L. I took it.
Credit card roulette's scary.
But
Oof.
a table of 12,
Oof.
that's tough.
we
That's
did.
gotta be
I didn't
faster than you.
I didn't been like down to like second to last, third card to come out of there, and I'm like,
Oh, so y'all do the last one standing?
yes.
Oh, we do first one picked.
Oh no.
Oh, no, it's not the end.
That's how I've always seen it.
We've always done
No,
first
no,
one
no, no, no.
picked.
See, the odds is crazy. Like, no, we picking. You pick
You're playing short of
and
straw.
you give. You pick and you get a person a card.
No,
You
I've
pick,
always.
you get. So
But
it's
see,
like
that's
it's like some relief to it. It's
That's
like,
the
okay.
that's the
Go church
football and
tomorrow.
baseball world because baseball's quick. It's like, hey, bro, whatever one first one come out.
Nah.
The
So
three,
it's on
the
you,
3
brother.
times that I've done it. So both times were with like 10 to 12 people, right? Oh, 3 times, and you usually had like a table with like half the table were like younger dudes, and then the other half had money. And dude, all 3, and I don't know if this is a guy looking down on us saying y'all are welcome. All 3 times, the richest guy at the table with the biggest contract got his card picked. I'm like,
man.
thank
It don't work.
Do you think that they go to the?
No, because that's why.
No.
Because we don't decide that it's credit card roulette until the bill comes.
Yeah.
So the waitress or waiter does not leave.
Yeah.
So it's, hey, with credit card roulette, everybody puts.
And they picking.
Everybody
Yeah.
puts the. We get the card. Everybody puts the card. We mix them up and put them in the thing. So the waitress and waiter has no idea whose card is what.
Oh, so she never leaves it, or he or
She
she
ne-
never leaves the table.
She stays there. We get the cards. We put them in there. We mix them up. We put them in the book thing and give it back to her.
And then she opens
And then
it.
she opens it up and doesn't read them. We put them other way so we can't see the names.
Yup.
And she picks.
That's crazy. Y'all do the first one.
First one.
I like your way better.
Yeah, you're way.
I actually do like that one.
I do.
better.
I do too.
I want the sweat.
I've never done it that way, but I like that one better.
If we did it the way y'all did it, cause I don't really know baseball players. Like, y'all bougie. I don't really.
A little bit.
They
Okay.
got. I mean, that guaranteed
Football.
money, coach.
Yeah, football. We like.
Yeah, we bougie.
We gon' depending on what type of vibe it is. We either gonna order expensive that night, or we just gonna like, are we just grabbing food, quick food.
Yeah, no doubt. Same way.
gonna
We're
chill
same way.
and
Same
vibe.
way. Same way.
But I don't know baseball. Y'all playing.
But I would say baseball is for the most part kind of weekend bougie, midweek, whatever.
So in Detroit, we did in 2017 was my most favorite year because we had a team full of veterans. We're trying to win, and they were trying to do everything together, right? So like every time we would land in a city, they would say, "All right, we're gonna go find a steakhouse, and we're all going to dinner," right? And so like you had Verlander who was making $28 million a year. You had Upton who was making like 22. You had Kinsler who was making just under 20. You had Zimmerman who was making right at 20. Like Mikie, all these guys, they had money, right? And so we would go and and I was fortunate for me, I was in that group. I would always get invited. So I'm like, yes, I'm in. Like wherever we go, I'm in. And so like Verlander was a big wine guy. So Verlander would go and he'd start ordering all the wine. He's ordering like $500 bottles of wine. It's like, just keeps coming out, right? So like,
He like they like, you want a glass? I'm like, I'm good. I'm chilling.
I'm like, all right. He's like, no, you gotta have this. I'm like, all right. Like, I mean, I'll take it. And
At
then
this point, they all taste the same. Like when
Yeah, I'm
Jesus
like,
brought
whatever.
out wine, it's like,
And
I
so
don't
then-
know.
and so
Y'all
they would
drinking
always
Opus.
pay for it. So
Y'all drinking Opus. Y'all on Opus.
Opus was probably like,
That's an every night thing for y'all.
yeah, for him. Every like 4 day whenever we travel. Now sometimes you got in late, like at 2 a.m. and you didn't eat,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But you drank.
You ordered room service, what you did.
See, we did that on
You
off-
go
off
to the
days.
veteran suite,
Or
and
room service and then leave.
and you you go to the veteran suite and you hang out, and you do whatever the stuff that we were doing in the veteran suite, and then you would order.
What y'all was doing? Watching Cartoon Network?
Yeah.
We watched film together.
Yeah.
Watched
Watching
film on the
Westworld?
picture.
Draw swings.
See,
Yeah.
we did that like once a week. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
had our little groups. Or
Well, yeah, because y'all are because
Yeah,
we
we all
traveled
kinda-
a little bit. We traveled
yeah.
every third day.
game
Yeah, that's
days,
the difference, man.
You know, away games, we all, depending on the group, we all go eat out together.
Yeah.
And then home games, after the game, pretty much do with your family,
Yeah,
chill with your
right.
fam, and then off day. Like, so our off days is like,
Was it Tuesdays?
yeah, we get together and like go eat out, and then that's when we just kind of like chill.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a
We it was
Expensive
always
time.
nice when like you had the road trip and you saw the schedule and you're like, all right, we're traveling on Wednesday night, but we have Thursday off in New York. I'm like, oh,
y'all got a great schedule though. We in.
great schedule. We gotta travel all the time.
every day.
What I'm saying, I'm sure y'all not going to the city and being stuck in meetings and.
Oh no, you're
doing,
right.
Like,
We don't have
y'all
that.
probably,
it's pretty
y'all
free.
probably pull
Oh,
up and
wait,
just.
he's right.
We
Yeah,
go
he
and
is
eat
right about
out.
that.
We gotta wait till 7.
Oh
curfew.
no,
I'm like,
we pull up and we just have to be at the field. We don't practice
Yeah.
because we play every day. So you gotta be at the field at it says 7 o'clock. We play
If
field
you
at
don't
1.
if you don't got a great group of friends, you eating hotel food that night. You eating with the hotel serving for the team.
There's people.
Hamburger steak.
I wonder if there's people.
Meatloaf.
What's the special tonight?
Hamburger steak.
Mashed potatoes, no
Loaded
gravy.
mash.
Oh man.
I wonder if there's people that was like, damn, everybody's gone. Like, or are they? Like, damn, I'm eating alone in the hotel room. It's
The
what I do every
best,
night.
the best is when we would go and we have an off day like in a big city like New York or LA or Toronto or whatever, right? And like
Y'all couldn't wait to play the Blue Jays.
couldn't wait. And so you'd have the single guys, right? Like if you're there and you're the single guys, and if they're in the group of friends, right? They would always go out to eat, and they would say, "Oh no, we can't go eat. I can't go eat. I got people in town, or I got beef in town, or whatever, right?" And you would go out, and usually if they had somebody in town they were trying to impress, they're taking them probably to the restaurant that we were going to, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so it was the best part was to go and to see who they're bringing out that night. Like if you've seen her before, if you haven't seen her before.
Oh,
and
I know
then-
you.
Scout report.
Yeah,
on
like, hey, and you come back, hey, good
funny.
job. Or like, hey, I've seen her before. Like, hey, what happened to the other girl? Like, and you just wear
I don't
them
know
out.
if this is the one.
You just wear them out.
That's crazy.
Listen, I've heard some things.
I've heard some funny things. I mean, I have some other funny things that I'm gonna say off air because I don't want to out anybody.
Yeah.
But it's great. I outed him in the clubhouse the next day, though. That's for sure.
You have to.
Quick question. What is the haircut? I don't want to say the wrong thing. What is that?
Mullet?
He doesn't
Mullet.
know what it is.
Okay. I just
See,
wonder.
I get a lot of flack for it because it's popular.
Why?
It's popular now, and I've been doing this for like 4 years.
You've been.
I've been maybe
He's a trendsetter.
They riding the wave. You've been.
Right, I
He
created the
he
wave.
is the wave.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. I just didn't want to say the wrong thing.
Mustaches are coming back. Top Gun 2. Been having this forever.
Okay.
It's all right. Everybody catches up.
I'm
I know you with
vibing.
it.
Yeah, I'm vibing with it.
Yeah.
I just can't do that.
I can't do it either.
I don't think so.
I don't
I
have that ability.
don't think there's ever been a black man with a mullet ever.
I can't do that.
Oh no, I don't know. Back in
Jerry curl?
Yeah, back
sure
in,
it did-
back
yeah,
in
it
the
did.
'80s and like that when the Jerry
The
curl.
Jerry
thing.
was the black man mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I thought
The
about
Jerry
getting
curls.
a curl, but you can't.
Boy.
you gotta. It's a lot of
Can you
maintenance.
imagine if Jerry curls are still a thing?
Dude, they're coming back. I guarantee it.
No,
Antonio Brown, Jerry curl.
that's a lot of grease.
See a wet collar.
I
all
can
day.
see AD pulling off the Jerry curl, no?
That's what I'm saying. He's
see
done a
him
lot
pulling
of
off the
stuff with. He Legoed his own head.
I can see him pulling off the Jerry curl.
You're right. Okay, I guess I
can
could
see
see that.
AD pulling that off.
I don't know if the trend's gonna come back. I can see him doing it though.
Trendsetter. Rush Hour 4. We can make that.
True. All right.
Yeah, what we gonna eat?
It's a great show. Yeah, I'm getting hungry too.
I'm hungry.
Doge.
My wife made chicken noodle soup tonight.
That sounds like not filling at all.
Yeah, we gonna pass.
Well, you gonna be hungry in the morning.
Hey, where are we going?
You gonna be hungry in the morning.
She said we had chicken noodle soup, and she's like, "Well, if we don't like it, I'm gonna make some tacos as the backup." I'm like, "Okay, let's do both."
So no.
So what time the tacos come?
Let's do both. Let's do both. All right, great show. Even though we had some
No,
issues
barely,
before.
Barely.
Before. That's why I didn't have the segments, but we got a couple segments in. Like I said,
Tell Russell Shepard I'm trying to get in on the porta potties too.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
We're gonna have to link us.
Yeah. Hey, they're
Need a
doing it,
VIP
bro.
potty.
They're doing it.
VIP portal potty.
They're doing it.
For those that don't really need the bathroom, kind of get in and get out. There should be a 1 and a 2.
Is he serious right now?
I don't know.
Is
he
he
might
for
be
real
on
right
to
now?
something though.
Maybe.
You might have to pay. You might have to
Pay
pay.
a premium because
Oh.
yes, that's what I'm saying.
If you
I
gotta take a dump, it's a
So
little extra.
look, the VIP port is quick. VIP
right, yeah, we're
port
going
is-
in and out.
It's a code that you scan on your phone. You take your phone, and that's the only way it's gonna open to do your business.
But you had to pay for that. You had to pay for the code.
I'll
Yeah,
pay
the
$1 to
app.
pee only and smell nothing.
Ooh,
Oh, you're talking about peeing.
that's
not
tough.
pooping.
We ain't even gonna talk about that no more. 'Cause
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we might
Oh,
have
we
to
don't.
tap-
Yeah, either
Yeah,
way, it's
we-
fine.
Okay.
But there's
Don't give up the
definitely should
ideas
be a line
right
of
now.
delineation.
Don't give up the
Yeah,
ideas.
free
on
idea.
air.
Don't give free ideas on here.
Calvin Ridley's listening.
Incubator. It's an
Oh,
incubator.
my God.
Jesus. All right.
my God.
MMLSU 15 if you want to win 4 tickets to the LSU Florida State game. I
I was
appreciate
definitely listening.
I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you. This was awesome.
y'all for having
Nah,
me.
thank you for coming on. Listen, anytime you want to come on. When you sign, you're playing, we're going to get you on.
We're gonna
all
get
the
you in
time.
on a Monday or Tuesday night.
On a
you know?
Tuesday. We'll get you on a Tuesday on your
Hey,
off day.
I'm
and
with
we'll,
that.
We'll do whatever.
I'm
Yeah.
with that.
Put the
Talk about the
phone
season.
in your jersey while you're catching a punt, and we'll live stream.
Look, y'all don't want to see that.
Shit.
Live streaming from a GoPro.
Look, we'll be live again for this Saturday, 4:30. Saturday, Jesus, Mikey. On Friday, 4:30 to 6 from Uncle Earl's. We're live every Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. and all podcast networks, Spotify and.
I mean, you won't know at
Apple.
this rate.
I mean, you better be posting them.
Oh God.
All right, we'll see you all on Friday. You're watching Mik'd, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Peace.